gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, Dion Green.
Baby, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you know anyone that's out there in the dark, particularly that of an older, mature female variety, and they need someone in these cold months, send them to your boy, Uncle Dion. Anyway, it's great to be back here, guys. Yeah, great to see you. Well, there's a lot of motherfucking faces in here.
Buddy, why don't you just have a sign? Instead of the bat signal, it's the white woman signal. You just flare it in the night sky. And,
It ain't gotta be just the white ladies, but you know what I'm saying? You know, it's the holidays are about to kick off. Mariah Carey just came out of her slumber from her 9 months of hibernation and non-Christmas material. Now she's gonna be out, and you know, the world's gonna need somebody to defend all those ladies from the evil Christmas queen that is Mariah Carey. So I'm the man for the job.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, speaking of other men on this show, we have the Bombay bad boy, Big Rig Nick Utab.
Merry Christmas. Is it too early for that? Is it too early? I thought it was just time for that.
Buddy?
A little bit.
Bill wanted to put his Christmas tree up on Halloween night, so I think it's a little early.
No, in all reality, I'm not a fan of Christmas, so it's fine.
Well, it'll be here before you know it, so
I'm sure we'll
get
be.
ready for all the consumerism.
Oh, Jesus.
Up next, we have American Ramrod, Kendo Slice.
Yes, after a little bit of a layoff, I am back. Whether or not I'm happy to be back, jury's still. I guess we'll see how it goes.
All right, cool. Now, folks, we are joined by some guests this evening. One of my comic book buddies wanted to come hang out on the show tonight, talk about some stuff. You know him as the head of, what is it? Oh, God, I almost remember the other publishing name. Well, let's just say hello to Drew. But, man, what is the new publishing arm? I'm sorry.
Hey, yeah, I was with Merck Publishing, doing Born of Blood with Aaron Sparrow, who is the creative director and editor, and now I'm now the co-publisher of Mutant Farm Comics with Aurelio Mazzara and our new title, Unholy Nightmare.
That's what it is. I remembered the Merck Publishing, man, but I wanted to make sure we're talking about the new one that's exciting.
Yeah,
now, you mentioned his name, but he's here tonight. Folks, say hello to the very accomplished Aaron Sparrow.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Great to be here. I'm super psyched because I've been a longtime fan of the channel, so to actually be on here is quite an honor.
Well, thanks for joining us, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially some of the career you've had is going to be a lot of fun to discuss tonight, as well as the other topics we have. It'll be great to hear you guys' perspective, especially as someone who's worked on the inside. And now, finally, folks, we have our final guest of the evening. Say hello to Mr. Aurelio Mazzara.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm such an honor.
It's our pleasure to have you, man. It's going to be exciting tonight.
Yeah.
So, folks, we are back. Halloween's over. As Nick jokingly said, it's time for Christmas, but we're not here to talk about Christmas. We're here to talk about a couple things in the title card and a whole lot more. So, folks, this is episode 378 of WCBS, the epitome of pop culture. So, Nick, Dion, Kendo, and other guys, how are your Halloweens? Dion, how was the family?
Busy. It was busy. Busy but good. Kids went out, had a fun time, got some candy that I'm totally not going to steal later. I just got beer all over the carpet, but that's cool. But the point of this part of the story was it was good, and it was snowing, and luckily they were both like, yeah, we're done now. We got a nice little booty of candy, made some chili, which those motherfuckers all ate. I only got a little bit of, I got some chili yesterday. They finished it off yesterday and laughed in my face, so they're gonna fucking pay. But no, man, it was great. It was fun.
Nick, you have evil in your blood. How was your Halloween?
Oh dear God. No, it was fun, man. I spent it with the family. I had to go up to Tennessee for some family stuff. I think that's Sunday before. I did party that Saturday though, and that was fun. But no, did go up and spend Halloween with the family. I got to sit outside my brother's house and give out candy to the kids and things like that. They live in a nice, neighborhood and stuff, so it was good. The kids were at least, they were at least behaving themselves, so that was good. One of them came up to us and said, "Hey, guess what I'm dressed like?" And it was this little girl with like paint on her chin, a backwards red hat, and a black shirt. I'm like, "You're Fred Durst." She's like, "Oh, you know?" I'm just like, "Yeah, kid, I'm old."
I didn't realize Fred Durst would be an in-demand Halloween costume.
Wow.
Her dad's a
Unique, at
wrestling
least.
fan.
Did she have a chainsaw so that she could skin your ass raw?
No. I think her dad was holding it for her so she could, hold her candy.
Kendo, did you do anything exciting for Halloween?
Baby OJ went out trick-or-treating for the first time. So there was
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He was dressed as a Ninja Turtle because Dad picked out the costume. So naturally, I started him with one, and I'm like, you know what? He's gonna go through them each year. He's gonna serve each capacity of turtle. And then once he turns 5, he can pick his own costume. And with
There's gonna have to be a year where you're Splinter and he's a turtle, right? Where he can when he can walk.
That's probably gonna happen next few years, I guess, because
All right.
this year he was Leonardo, and he's going to be whatever is his size next year. And we're just, like I said, he's going to work his way through it. And because it was as cold as a fucking well digger's ass outside, the kids stopped knocking on the door at like 8 o'clock. So that made me happy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we had a freeze advisory roll through Cincinnati. It was like 27 degrees Halloween morning. And then when I was over at Phil's handing out candy before we watched wrestling and drank and did other shit for Halloween, like grown-ups, it was barely mid 30s, so it was freezing. But those kids wanted candy, so they came out and drove. So that was Halloween 2023. Drew and Aaron and Aurelio, did you guys do anything for Halloween or not really?
Aurelio and I were launching on Holy Nightmare on Halloween night, and that was the launch night. And we here in Indiana, we had a freeze advisory as well. We had flurries. I was leaving the gym. I'm like, is it actually flurrying right now? What the hell is going on? And it was a very, very cold night, but it was a fun night launching the comic on Kickstarter.
Hell yeah, man.
I was pretty nervous for the Unholy Nightmare launch on Halloween night, but the day my sons invited almost 15 kids to my home, we was invited. It's like Mars Attacks, but with kids. So one of my son's friends decided to expire at the moment of the party, so we wasn't able to find him. He was under a table out on my garden. So I scared my pants. I shit my pants because I started to think what the fucking happened. Also we were going around to do trick or treat on almost 10 houses, just 2 houses replied house. Wow. With some so but was pretty fun.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, I didn't have I was busy all during the day and actually jumped in to help Drew and Aurelio push the comic book, promote it from the road. So they were getting to hear like all of my road rage and all of the traffic noise. And, when I stopped for gas, the many zombies that wander around Southern California asking for change coming up to me. So that was pretty fun. Then handed out candy to the couple of kids that came by in the evening, but didn't really get a lot of them, even though, I try to be cool. I try to hand out full-size bars. I try to be the cool adult handing out the candy. The next day I had to run around and try and give it away to whoever I could, because otherwise I would give myself diabetes. So that was pretty much my Halloween.
The true battle.
Folks in the chat, tell us about your Halloweens. And those listening at home in the recorded version of this show, shoot us an email to worldclassbs@mail.com, the best mail.
.com.
To tell us about your Halloweens. We're excited to hear about it. Now, folks, tonight we have a word of the day from our friend Shrebbles08. The word of the day is fanny. The fannies. How Stella got her fanny back. Honey, I shrunk your fanny. Karen and her traveling fannies and fanny down.
The hunt for
Fanny
red
wide
fanny.
shut.
Top fanny.
Fanny jam.
Tomorrow never fanny.
Big Trouble in Little Fanny.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's keep it comic book themed. Dick Fanny.
Crisis on Infinite Fannies.
The Avengers and the Age of Fanny.
White fanny.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Swamp Fanny.
Avengers Fanny game.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Fanny. Bow chicka bow bow.
The Fanny 4. Or the Fantastic Fanny.
The
I like
deadly
the
fanny of
Fantastic
Kung Fu.
I'm
Enter
trying
the
to
fanny.
to find something, but I am unable to find something.
To steal iron.
I'm
Fanny.
focusing. I'm focusing.
Focus on the fanny. Focus on the fanny.
We should just make a movie called Focus on the Fanny, Nick.
Yeah, we'll make it like a Hitchcock thing. It'll be fun. It'll be fine.
I'd
It has to
spend
be better than the
$9.99 to watch
birds.
that.
You'll be in it, so you won't have to spend money to watch it. You'll get 2 copies and a hot dog as a thank you.
That counts.
Yeah,
That counts.
he'll be surrounded by very well endowed white women.
It's everyone's dream. It's everyone's dream.
I think
You know,
it is.
there's a part in Wokebusters, Nick, where you mistake this lady for the mayor, and Dion goes, "That's not the mayor." And you go, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Look at her butt." So we have art imitate life all the time.
Love it.
Sadly, that would make sense.
I mean, look at Beverly Hills Cop 2. Axel figures out where Bogomil was because of the dirt on the ground. Other movies, they find shell casings, other little bits of information. Dion is a detective. He knows the butt. So will it hold up in a court of law? Find out in Wokebusters.
He's an
Coming
ass
next year.
man.
The wonders
You-
of nature.
Yeah. Our friend Joseph Biedowicz in the chat's knocking him out with the James Bond title. We got Fanny Royale. The Fanny is not enough. On Her Majesty's Secret Fanny or Her
Ooh.
Majesty's Fanny Service. That's what the Wicker Fanny. That's a good one too. Who put that
Wicker
out? Let's put that one on the
Fanny.
screen.
I think
Shout
it
out to
earned.
you, FGBE342. Now, is that the Christopher Lee version or the Nicolas Cage version? Because either way, you can't go wrong.
They're both winners in my book.
Yeah.
Raven's Last Fanny. There we go.
Would that have been Calypso? Was that his last fanny?
Yeah, absolutely. Before he blew his
Sorry,
brains out, yeah.
I took that way too literal. So, folks,
It's a
share
good
your
story.
fannies with us all night long here on WCBS episode 300. Is it 377 or 378? I don't know.
378, right?
It says
Yeah, I just-
377. It says 377 in the title here on YouTube. So
That's where I'm mistaken. I'm like, no, it's,
Fuck
it's
it.
whatever.
Split the difference. Episode 385.
Yeah. Folks, welcome to the first episode of World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff. And there's a guy named Dion.
Hey,
You
man,
believe
good
Dion
to
is-
see you, dude.
Yeah, I know. We're going to do a podcast one day. Today's that day, Dion. Today's that day. So, folks, continue to join us throughout the night. Send in your fanny titles, and let's have fun with everyone here on the show.
yeah.
And we're going to get to South Park in just a moment.
join us
throughout the night. Send in your
Well, apparently Jeff is Jennifer Lawrence. He's
He's
doing
gone
his
into the
first podcast.
multiverse.
I got really bored and tried to watch that Jennifer Lawrence No Hard Feelings movie for about 5 minutes. It was terrible. So
Did you
Yeah, I didn't see in
expect
theaters very long.
anything different? Because that bar is not real high.
I had
It
a
just
couple
seemed like
drinks.
the whole selling point was that she's naked in the movie, but she was already naked all over the internet. So I didn't really.
right.
The
Well,
fat
yeah,
scene was a thing.
she like naked fights on a beach because two people are trying to take her clothes and she like kicks her ass. But I don't think it was even her. I think it was like a body double or something. I don't think it was even her.
I read they CGI'd the nudity onto the body.
That makes sense because it looked that way.
But I just remember when she was when she was at the awards, I think it was the Oscars, and Seth MacFarlane was singing "We Saw Your Boobs," and then he said, we haven't seen Jennifer Lawrence's boobs yet, and she was like, "Yeah, thumbs up," and then so much for that.
It's happening.
Well, that was the first nude scene ever in a film, Nick. So you got to give him some credit.
That's true. That's true.
She's so brave
And stunning. Oh, God. All right. So, folks, tonight we're going to be talking about South Park. We're going to be talking about the Marvel article that's been tearing up the internet. We've seen the videos that you're watching from us, so we thought we'd talk about them and get your input as well as all of our wonderful guests. So, folks, tonight's episode is brought to you by Stealing Solo. Go to stealingsolo.com to find out more. It's the story of a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans who kidnap Harrison Ford and force them to remake Star Wars in their basement. It's been called Laugh Out Loud Funny. People share it with their significant others. They both love it. It's a book for everybody. So go to stealingsolo.com, get yourself a copy of the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs, and tell everyone about it. Those books we'll have some for the holiday season, and then we'll probably be done in the new year. So get your copy now. Supplies are limited. Now, Drew, we're going to do a longer introduction to your project in just a moment, but tell everybody about yours before we start talking about South Park.
Absolutely. So Unholy Nightmare, which is live right now on Kickstarter, only been up for a couple days, but it's essentially a superhero horror story where we're seeing heroes and superheroes becoming monsters to fight more evil monsters. So we have our main characters, the Recluse, we have Ginny the She-Wolf, and they're taking down evil forces that don't want to spoil, but it's going to be an action-packed horror story, and Aurelio Mazzara, who's with us right now, he did the art. It's amazing, and yeah, there's the trailer for it right now. I want everyone to know that we put our literally our blood, sweat, and tears into this book because we know how bad Marvel, DC, and Image are right now, and we truly believe that if you are so jaded by the big two, including Image as the top three, this is the book that is the cure-all. This is the one that will literally put the hair on your balls, and just give you the testosterone you need to get through the day. Please do check out Unholy Nightmare, guys. You're not going to want to miss out.
Folks, that link has just been dropped into the chat right now. Nick, you're a big horror guy. Do you think we need more horror comics? Because I think we do.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. We'll remember when we were at Halloween Horror Nights when we were at the comic book shop. I think it was like the Living Dead shop or whatever, I forget what it's called. But we bought it. We bought a good amount of horror comics. I bought the Dead by Daylight series, a couple of the ones they had there. Yeah, we bought some fun stuff, man.
Is it wrong that I haven't read any of it yet?
No, I haven't either. I've been too busy.
Oh, thank God! I thought it was just me.
You guys are too busy putting out your own comics, man. You don't got time. You don't got time to read all everybody else's stuff that's out in the mainstream. You're doing it like we are. You're out there trying to make good comics for the masses.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody understands that. I mean, Wokebusters is an epic. I told the guys I finished the second act. The third act had been done, so I need to do like 13 pages, and that's it. So I can't wait. I'm going to continue to just get that finished. And then, folks, like I told you, we'll be shipping them out next year. So be on the lookout for the relaunch and a whole lot more.
I'm super excited for it. I've actually been learning to read so I can read it.
Thank you, Kendo. That means a lot.
Good. That's good to know, Kendo. Yeah, I'm not alone in that process. That's good to know.
The finest that Appalachia has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, people like to dunk on the illiterate adults out there in the world, and it's fair. You should do that. If you're this old and you don't know how to read, you are an idiot. But at least I'm trying.
That's a great pull quote for the cover too. Is I learned to read, so I can check this out.
There you go.
Well, hey, if it makes you feel any better, one of the quote unquote top writers at Marvel Comics right now just barely knows how to read. She barely learned how to read, and so you're doing pretty well, in comparison.
Well, it's good to know that I could always schlep myself down to fucking Marvel headquarters and get a job. Be like, look, I'm not literate, but I could probably work here.
And I'm not gay, but I'm willing to learn if that helps me get the job.
Yeah, I mean, I can identify as something that's not white if that'll help.
New Avengers coming out 2025.
Kendo, in this day and age, I think it might help identifying as something else.
Yeah, and just be like, I'm a trans Siberian, and I have an orchestra. I identify as a cello.
Fans, if you're also Trans-Siberian Orchestra, press 1 in the chat right now and give this video a like. Now, we're all South Park fans. We've been South Park fans, at least I can speak for myself, since the beginning of the show. Now, admittedly, I haven't been watching it religiously like some people have, but I consider myself a knowledgeable South Park fan, and I really do enjoy the series. And over the weekend, they dropped Joining the Panderverse, which is the newest South Park special over on Paramount Plus. And now I had seen this on my radar. I had thought, I'll watch it one day. And then because I didn't really know what the whole subject matter was. I got it that it was making fun of, forced diversity and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that it would feature Kathleen Kennedy as the boogeyman, essentially. And I absolutely lost it. I laughed at the crazy parts making fun of Kathleen Kennedy. I laughed fun at the oversaturation of woke content and the oversaturation of calling everything woke. I thought this was such a well-done special. So, folks, we're going to talk about this right now. I'd like to start with you, Kendo, because, Kendo, I consider you the biggest South Park fan on the channel. You probably watched everything they put out, correct? Or at least close to it?
Everything except for the most recent stuff, just because, as you know, my life right now, I don't have time for that. But slowly but surely, I'm earning that time back. And this was the first thing I've gotten to watch new from them in probably about 9 months since the beginning of the year. And yeah, they broke the glass on the Kathleen Kennedy thing real quick. And that's why I immediately got on the horn to you guys, because kid fell asleep. Wife was busy doing something that didn't involve bitching at me. And I was just like, hey, look, the Panderverse. I'm gonna give this a shot. I was able to watch the first 5 minutes, then the kid woke up. But, hey, they went hard in the paint on Kathleen right away, and I don't think they said anything that wasn't true. And that is why I had to get a hold of you guys. Like, look, if there's anything you got to do, block off 45 minutes. You have to watch this.
Dude, I'm glad I did. I laughed so hard. I mean, not even just the Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars or Indiana Jones stuff. The whole point about the handymen and the billionaires and how college is a waste. It just was like, ooh, man, this kind of stings. It kind of hits with a lot of truth. Now, Dion, have you had a chance to watch it, or Nick, have you had a chance to watch it?
I have not. But when Kendall sent it, I just brought up to Hillary. So she just quickly read. We were just reading about it online. Obviously, not to get too deep. We didn't want to totally ruin it in terms of enjoying it, but we were reading just some quick cliff notes from it, and it sounded fucking hilarious, man. Like it just, it was the body shot that was fucking needed at the right time, and then obviously. Yeah, man. I'm super fucking excited, but from reading some quick cliff notes, I'm like, okay, all right, boys, all right. They I know we were worried about old Trey and Matt, but that's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever lost it. I mean, I can't speak on every episode ever, but every time I check in with them, they tend to really hit the nail on the head. Nick, did you get a chance to check it out?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I heard a bunch of the articles. Read a bunch of articles that came out and everything, and people were. It seems like she wasn't very happy, and people, all the higher ups weren't very happy either. But I like that Trey Parker and Matt Stone are willing to punch up. It's always good to see that. It's always good to see that.
Oh, dude, I agree 100%. Drew, Aaron, Aurelio, have you guys had a chance to watch it? If not, Kendo and I will take the lead on this.
Yeah, no, I definitely watched it. I absolutely loved it. I've read a lot of the articles since then, and it's been really interesting because a lot of people feel like they went light on her, but the fact of the matter is that from now on, much like anytime anybody inserts any kind of nostalgia fan bait into a project, you get everybody referencing member berries. This is going to be an internet meme for the rest of time. That whenever Kathleen Kennedy is mentioned, you're going to get. Make it gay, make it lame, put a chick in it. You're going to get that every single time that they do any of this. I mean, they basically skewered all of Disney's method of operation currently. And they've either got to adjust or they have to deal with the fact that anything that they put out, the PR is just going to get hammered with memes of Cartman saying, put a chick in it, make her gay. It's really brutal. They did a brutal job on her and on Disney. And people think that Bob Iger got off light, but he's always going to have that meme of we've got to pander harder. And then at the end of the episode, it's almost like they teased a follow up because when Kathleen Kennedy learns her lesson, in the kind of Stan Kyle way of I learned something today that South Park often does. Even when she says like, and we're not going to pander anymore, Bob Iger is right there to go, yeah, sure, Kathy, yeah, all right. Like it does a little wink and the little finger gun, like, yeah, sure thing. So I feel like a follow-up is coming because there's so much more on this topic for them to roast. I thought that it was really well done and definitely a black eye for Disney.
Well said. I felt like it was speaking directly to us. Obviously we talk about this stuff on YouTube. We've been talking about it for years. And it was funny. Somebody sent me a message like, it sounds like you're out of business. I went, no, it actually validates what we've been talking about for years here on YouTube, because it's, you've had the mainstream press defender. You've had so many people call out people on YouTube that are, they're just angry, bigoted trolls. But now South Park finally does it. And I'm just like, good.
Yeah.
Because like
validation for the flag that we've been flying for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll touch on it, but that was the hard, stiff jab. And then Gina Carano came in with a knockout punch, which was just amazing.
So could you give me a little insight on what Gina Carano said? Because the thing I followed from Gina Carano this week was I think it was something else. I put it in our video, but I missed a lot of what Gina Carano's been saying.
She basically came out and she said that, what Matt and Trey can now expect is for Kathleen Kennedy to do A, B, C, D. Like this will be her response. And it was basically saying all of the things that were done to Gina. Trying to force her into a struggle session with a bunch of LGBT Lucasfilm employees, like a 45-person Zoom call, 1 on 45, trying to force her to give an apology where the apology was done in Kathleen Kennedy's own words that she approved of. But the bigger revelation was Gina Carano pointing out that Kathleen Kennedy had YouTube alter the, basically remove the thumbs down because of how hard she got hammered on that video that she did for the Oscars. And the downvotes, like it was like Gina basically said it was Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm that pressured Google into removing the thumbs down because of a video downvoting her. And then she talked about all of the publicists that Kathleen Kennedy employs to go out and attack and spread rumors and spread lies. And the fact that she was told as an employee of Lucasfilm not to follow certain accounts on Twitter because they were critical of Kathleen Kennedy. So apparently Kathleen Kennedy has a very thin skin and she does pay attention to all of the things that we do. So I'm sure, Jeff, she's got a world-class bullshitters dartboard up in her office.
We hope she does.
Yeah. I think that's definitely it.
Because we've got the thing going with us that Trey and Matt's got going with them is they don't give a shit. They don't care if Kathleen Kennedy hates them, and she can try to get whatever propaganda campaign going on, and it won't work. Because especially with our channel, it's really hard to paint us as any type of, well, except me, as any type of ist or phobe. But, it works. Because I could even pull the card of, well, my wife's Asian, and be like, oh, that's just because you're dominating her with white supremacy. Be like, I do whenever she says yes.
Don't think your fetish excuses you from your racism.
Yeah.
Right.
Kendra does it consensually. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. It's like, you could look at the long list of white chicks I dated before the Asian, but I guess you could just say I was closeted. My fetish was there. I just wouldn't let it come out.
It's okay, Kendo. I'm just glad you're finally honest with yourself and all of us.
Yes, I enjoy.
We've known for a while.
I enjoy invading Fortress Asia and getting some back for the years of strife in the 60s and 70s that we endured, even if it was a different country.
Oh my god.
But the one thing I really did like, though, is that it made fun of the people that are overly sensitive to the woke stuff, too, because some people are like, don't you guys feel targeted? No, we make fun of all of it. That's what Wokebusters is. It makes fun of both sides of everything. And that's what I appreciate about South Park. It makes fun of it all because nothing is sacred. I would have enjoyed it. I would have laughed just as hard if Cartman didn't say the stuff like, I'm sorry, bitching about everything that's woke. But I laughed and I took a moment and I went, thank God they at least acknowledged that part. Like, I really liked the self-aware nature of it all. It was such a well-done special. And I hope they touch on, some more stuff that's in our wheelhouse. I know they're not going to go do a Marvel episode or going to talk about comics or anything like that, but I feel like this kind of covers everything that a lot of these YouTubers have talked about, and it really kind of makes everybody have to up their game a little bit, because you can't lampoon and parrot South Park forever, and I'm grateful for that, because I like the challenge. I like trying to talk about these things and get to the core of the issues, beyond pointing the woke stick. I mean, it gets tiresome after a minute. And I hope there is a sequel, like you said, Aaron. You feel like there could be more. I want there to be more. I'd like to see Bob Iger come back. Like when we saw Cartman in the little graphic of the stock fall, I laughed so hard because I've made title cards and videos with that in it. I'm like, wait, did they watch one of our videos to make fun of that?
And Bob Iger's like, no, my stocks. It was like I died.
Oh, it hit home in the best way possible. What did you guys think about the commentary of the people don't know how to do shit anymore, and we just, we made the handyman billionaires?
Extremely funny and accurate.
Yes. It's one of those where it's like, it's so funny that it's true. It's like, you're not really laughing. It's like, yeah, that's 100% true.
It made me want to become, I don't know, a little more proficient in handyman work. So when the impending end comes, I won't be stuck trying to use my phone for everything.
Yeah, it's like stop going to college and go to trade school. You're going to make a better living.
Oh yeah.
They lied to you and they told you that you needed to go to college. They trapped you into all these predatory loans where you're like, yeah, I had $80,000 in loans and I've been paying for 12 years and somehow I still owe $75,000. How does that work? Just go to
in psychology or something stupid. That's why.
or
gender
fine
studies.
Arts. Yeah.
Lesbian dance theory.
There's a great comic. There's a great comic on Instagram called Mr. Levinstein. And they have one where a guy's up on stage and he's got a microphone and he says, shake your moneymaker. And a guy in the audience takes out his art degree and starts shaking it. And then they had like the guy on stage is slapping him going, wrong. That's just the whole strip. And I was like, everybody I know who's an artist and who has an art degree was like, yeah, that's fair.
Oh man.
It's like getting into comics, man. What a great decision that was.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's needed now. People who, I'm glad, a couple of people took the hit and try to make their own, and like some made it, some didn't. But I'm glad it was possible, and people figured out a way of doing it this way that we can circumvent the big guys and make our own stuff and make our own money and make more things that people like and look forward to and things like that. Because yeah, I mean, it's important. And it sucks that Marvel and DC are just constantly producing shit. But I'm glad that independents now like can make their own stuff and put it out there, and people can read it, or buy it or whatever they want to whenever they want. It's great.
Yeah, it's nice that the monopoly is broken and that people can go off, because it was a big deal in the 90s when Image broke off from Marvel and DC. And I remember they were hated by a lot of like Marvel and DC loyalists, even people that worked for the company were absolutely hating on them and, hoping that they failed. But it's kind of funny now to see when you see guys like breaking out and doing their own books like you guys are doing, like we're doing with Unholy Nightmare. And just the sheer amount of hate that you get from the comic pros. And I get it now because yeah, you guys have shrunk the pie so much for yourselves and you have no ability to go out and promote yourself to the fans because you've abused the fans. You've called the fans all kinds of names. And I understand why you're scared. I understand why you're lashing out, but you're not going to stop any of us that want to go out and love this medium and want to see it continue, this American tradition of good comic books. And, this is an American art form and we need to preserve it. And if you guys dropped the ball, well, guess what? We're going to pick it up and we're going to leave you behind and in the dust.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the way it is. And I wish people would be more, I wish more people would be more open to independent film that way as well. And, not go to Hollywood so much for
You're
their
aware
stuff.
of your independent films, okay? let's sell them for what they really are, Nick.
Okay, just because it's like 3 lights and a black leather couch doesn't mean anything, Kendo. Calm down, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
For those of you that aren't familiar, Nick is a massive smut peddler.
Casting Couch 2.
Well, casting couch 2. I'm on casting couch 20 right now. Jesus.
It's your magnum opus, Nick.
I like
It's self-sufficient now.
My magnum opus
He
would
literally cranks this stuff out. No exaggeration here.
I mean, that could have been a very successful series of horror films, Casting Couch 3, and basically it's just all about how if you want this movie role, you've got to sleep with Harvey Weinstein or Joss Whedon.
Oh God.
There's some accuracies there too, so
Yeah,
you could take
yeah.
creative license.
No, you could. You could make it into like a cult thing, and they have to like do some sacrifices or whatever, and really make it into like a really
The
dark.
best part
dark
is
series.
if they wanted to counterpoint that, they'd have to sue you under the grounds of you are saying things that Harvey Weinstein didn't do, which would just make them look even worse.
Oh, 100%, 100% it would, 100% it would.
Well, Nick, I know our like 12th project down the pipe. Dion, you ready for your starring lead role?
I was born ready, motherfucker.
Ooh, Blade 2 reference. I love it. I cede all intellectual property rights for casting Couch to you guys, but I would like to hang on to the animation rights if that's fine.
Yes, we definitely need to have the graphic novel version of it.
But also,
Let's
hold on.
Art.
And just for clarification, that's Blade Trinity, not Blade 2.
Oh, you're right. It's right before he faces Drake. You're right.
Yep. Just want to make sure to clarify. Y'all talk about you doing comic book shit, be all inspirational and shit. Your brother over here, movie quotes. That's my thing. They're artists. I'm the character guy. My black ass. Remember that, guys? I'm here.
You threw that shit before you came in the room?
I threw that shit before I came in the room. I'm an artiste.
God damn it! God damn it! Oh man.
Hey, Dion, I think we need to do our first live in person. We're way too drunk for this shit stream around New Year's, where it's just the two of us in your apartment.
Please do. Prop the
It hasn't
camera.
happened.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened since Rise of Skywalker, where we were they went, the other duo went to bed and we were just drunk as fuck. That
We ordered
brings a
rallies in
certain
White Castle.
character. Yes,
That was the best surprise to wake up to that morning.
Oh my God.
I love my boys. You know what I'm saying?
It was one of those, damn, all right, I feel better this morning. I'm up before everybody else, kind of hungry. Do we even have anything in the fridge? Open up and there's all this leftover rallies in White Castle. It's like there was like a beam of light that came down from the heavens and shined upon that refrigerator, and there was fucking angels singing. It was always right with the world that day.
Well, you guys are artistes in different mediums. My paintbrushes are with my feelings, and my feelings are best brought to life through White Castle and rallies. So we all got our thing, boys.
Ordered at 2:30 in the morning.
Yes, on purpose.
I'm just grateful that shit was still open.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, before
morning.
before the dark times.
Oh, dude. Honestly, that was like our last big thing. And then all that shit hit, and now we're like, oh, okay, we're back to where we started back then. Let's keep this trainer rolling.
Oh God, yeah,
That's when I broke into the dude's basement.
Good old Camp Kidney.
Yeah, but it worked out because they found a big fucking bathroom downstairs instead of that little closet shitter in the living room next to the
Oh
TV.
God, yeah, it was fucking terrible.
It was like, guys, I've got something great to report here. We can now shit in luxury and comfort and peace and not worry about grossing everybody out.
I'm just glad we microwaved that copy of The Last Jedi on Blu-ray. That was
That
probably
was-
I
That
couldn't believe
awesome.
you didn't know that trick about putting CDs in the microwave and watching them go crackle.
I've never done that. I've never owned a movie that I had so much contempt
Keep out.
for. But back in the old High Council days, Ethan was like, hey, you should get a copy of it and we should do a review. So I was like, sure, I'm going to do that. And I did. And I took it off on my taxes and then I destroyed the results. So it was worth it. I didn't pay anything.
That's good.
So guys, let's just ask you this real quick off the top of your head if you can figure it out. What would you guys like to see South Park tackle next? I mean, what societal issue do you think South Park needs to line up and make fun of?
That is a good question. There's so many things to mock.
That's fair.
I
TikTok yet? I think
I feel like they need to go on colleges a little bit heavier, just a little bit heavier.
yes, that's a good idea.
Now, Drew, you're saying TikTok?
Yeah, have they gone after TikTok yet? Like the people on TikTok making or OnlyFans? Oh, OnlyFans, I think.
Oh
haven't
no, they
done that.
need to go after that.
There you
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Randy.
Yeah,
Cousin-
OnlyFans would be great. Have they done anything with the fact that we're currently ruled over by a guy with dementia? Like have they gone in hard on the paint on that? Because I feel like that's rife for parody.
I'm guessing they're going to hit that next year during the election.
I kept seeing these videos of these kids who were dressed like one was dressed up as Biden and one was dressed, and a couple were dressed up as Secret Service. And Biden kept trying to walk to the door to get the candy and kept like falling over. And they're trying to help him the whole time.
When he was trying to put his candy in the garbage.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I'm like, God damn, you kids are, you get it, you fucking get it.
You know who I would like to see come back and do one episode of SNL to play Joe Biden is Chevy Chase. Remember how he used to play Gerald Ford back in the day and just fall over shit?
Yep.
I think it'd be a funny callback.
That would be amazing.
But they don't make them like they used to.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
No, I was impressed. I really don't want to keep spinning my wheels on the South Park thing. I really enjoyed it. I was happy to watch it. I will probably watch it again to see if there's anything else to, glean from it. But I feel like they just kind of knocked it out of the park. These 48-minute specials are much more enjoyable than a whole season of South Park. Maybe it's the, I don't know, internet-induced ADD that all of us now have because of our phones.
I think it's more the ability to focus fire.
Yeah.
Because they can go hard at something for the 45 minutes or whatever it is, and it's not like where they have to turn a sort of issue to lampoon into a 25-minute episode.
The one thing I will say is I saw some post on social media. I can't really find it for the show right now, but it basically said that people inside of Disney are livid because this has increased like hate mail to Kathleen Kennedy tenfold. I'm looking for the sympathy train to come out.
Wait, no.
She kind of did that to herself with all of her poor decision making over the last decade. So
I agree.
But also, how much of a fucking like angry nerd do you have to be to like get the address and then handwrite a note, "Dear Kathleen Kennedy"?
That's pure hate right there. If you're taking that time,
some like
this world,
yeah, no, that is some real hate when you can like put pen to paper and then like have the stamp, lick the envelope, and mail it out. Like, God bless you, sir.
I think the bigger question here is to ask how much of a fucking whiner she and her people are that they're this upset over a TV show. Like, if I'm the head of like some movie studio and I got oodles of fucking money and I'm credited on some of the biggest movies of all time, I don't give a shit what kind of TV show is out there making fun of me.
Mm-mm.
If my bank account had as many zeros as Kathleen Kennedy's, I would not. This would just be a blip on the radar.
No, I mean, yeah, me too, man. Like, just because, like, I'm happy that we're in this conversation. Like, cool, shit we talk about has reached South Park. Like, if I was the target of a South Park episode, I would call them up and be like, "Hey, can I get T-shirts with my artwork on it, this and that?" I'd be like, "Hell, if you do it again, can I voice it?" Like, believe me, I'd be all on board.
Can I voice myself in this episode where you're going to rip on me?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
Unfortunately, the people that are in Hollywood, they don't have any sense of humor about themselves, and especially somebody like Kathleen Kennedy, who views herself as a visionary. She's this woman that started out as a secretary, and she rose up to be one of the most powerful producers in Hollywood. And she thinks that all those credits that her name is attached to, she thinks that that's all because of her genius, and it's not because of who she married, the giants that she stood on the shoulders of in
she wore.
The shoulders of Steven Spielberg, the shoulders of George Lucas, the shoulders of Robert Zemeckis, Frank Marshall. These were incredibly creative people, and I'm sure that there's some area of her job as a producer that she's effective at. Like, someone told me that she's really good at like negotiating down insurance and hiring the right casting people and things like that, and that's fine. But no one ever comes out of a film going, "Boy, you know what? The low insurance that film had really did it for me." The Last Jedi was great because the insurance was cheap. What gets you is the creativity behind it, the story behind it. And she should have never been placed in a creative position. And she wasn't intended to be. She was intended to run the day-to-day of Lucasfilm, and George was supposed to be the keeper of the flame. But as we know from Bob Iger's book, he quickly pushed George Lucas out so that they could do their own things with Star Wars. And this is the result.
Yeah.
And isn't it great that it didn't work out? Like, I could understand how, like, this is how I felt after Force Awakens. I'm like, this is garbage, and everyone around me is having a great time, and I felt like I was taking crazy pills. But it's so nice that it's like they wanted to have their own thing. They wanted to do it this way, and they really screwed it up. And now they're kind of left with an inert property. Like we talk about that all the time. Star Wars has very little value. You can sell some action figures, you can, sell a video game, but you can't get a movie to theaters. You can't get people to sign up for your streaming service to watch your show. You can't get people to talk about your show. And if people aren't talking about your show, that is the biggest problem you have. And that's what Star Wars has. No one gives a shit. Does anyone even think about Ahsoka anymore?
No.
Sorry, what happened? Who?
Exactly.
If I may quote a Star Wars character from a good Star Wars story, apathy is death. And that's what Kreia said in Sith Lords 2, Knights of the Old Republic. And that is exactly what Disney has brought about. They have brought about such apathy towards Star Wars that we don't even get mad about it anymore. At least when we were mad about it, we still cared. Now it's just we point and we laugh at it and we go, oh man. I'm so glad that I don't like this anymore because I was so tired of being upset.
That's a great point. And I believe me, I noticed that with our audience too. Now, what I wanted to ask you too, is since we're on the topic, is Kathleen Kennedy in the show talks about, I was just trying to make a change. How much of that do you think is, let's say the real Kathleen Kennedy watched that. Do you think she was actually trying to make a change, or do you think she was just trying to put her own vision on shit and didn't really care about the change? It was more of like an ego thing.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It was, I'm going to do this because I'm such a brave and wonderful visionary, and I'm going to bring my vision to the world and, wham and power shit.
What's telling to me is the fact that when they were going to make Galaxy's Edge and the Imagineers were setting it up to be Tatooine and Endor and reference the original trilogy, she came in and convinced Bob Iger, why are we relying on the old stuff? We're going to be making new stuff. That's what we should be focused on. And he was dumb enough to go for it. And Galaxy's Edge has been a huge flop, just like everything else that they've tried to do with the Star Wars franchise. Nobody cares.
Yeah, and also I think this year during the summer or something like that, they had the worst attendance ever. The park was like empty. It was incredible.
Hey,
At
Nick,
some point,
empty.
What?
That new hotel.
See, I have a hard time believing that. No, I don't.
$3,000 a night, bitch.
Aaron, what were you saying now, man?
I was saying that, well, at some point, they also have to admit that this isn't just a Kathleen Kennedy problem. She started the fire, but Bob Iger continued it with his presidential aspirations and the direction that he took Disney in. It really has hurt their brand overall. And so when you have a string of movies, your entire slate for the year underperforms and most of them outright flop, that's a Disney problem. That's not just a Star Wars or a Marvel problem. You have people who are actively rejecting your brand and view it negatively. And that's a really hard thing to overcome. And even with this proxy fight that they've got coming with Nelson Peltz, I don't know if they can recover from it. It's going to take years to undo the damage that Bob Iger has done.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we're talking about a year, because we've had WDW Pro on quite a few times. He's a good friend of the channel. We're talking about a year where their movies aren't even making a profit, like across the board. Indiana Jones, flop. The only thing that was mildly successful was Guardians of the Galaxy. And even according to that Variety article, which we'll talk about a little later, if a movie doesn't make $500 million, they don't even consider it a pretty good turnout. And these movies, aren't really doing much. Ant-Man, big flop. These shows on Disney Plus aren't moving the needle. And now we got the Marvels next week. Expect the review, folks. That is going to be that's going to be a shit show. They're projecting it to open to record lows. It costs $250 million. And I'll save that for a minute because I don't want to jump into that, because I got a point I want to make to Dion and I want to hear his response. But Disney just, I do like how the South Park episode was just like, all Disney movies suck. Why do all Disney movies suck? They really kind of do, man. And it's, the originality. We do want originality, but I also want good films. Like, I'm okay with sequels to stuff if they're good, worthwhile sequels. Thor was cool to have a sequel, but then you saw it, you're like, that really wasn't good. So they just kept making movies that weren't that good. But I was always open to more Thor movies if they were of quality. Same thing with any of these Marvel movies outside of Shang-Chi, Eternals, Captain Marvel, and what else? Like, I don't want sequels to those ones. But overall, like, I'm open to sequels. It doesn't always need to be a wholly original thing. It just needs to be a good thing. Because some of my favorite movies have sequels and are part of a franchise, like Bond. I love James Bond movies. Do I want them to stop making them? Do I want them to do wholly original Bond, something independent from Bond? No, I'm cool with the further continuation of the James Bond character. I don't think Disney tries. You guys have known this for a long time, but these brands just, oh, we're going to cash in on the brand power. There is no brand power like these people think. It really is dependent on each project. The Marvel brand kind of petered out in 2019, and now it's got to carry its own weight with each individual project. I don't think. Here's the question I have for everyone on the panel. Is there a franchise out there that can carry itself to success on name alone, no matter the quality of the film?
Well, I mean, obviously, the answer to that specific question is no. But as usual, that it's not just indicative of a Disney problem. I mean, obviously, he made a great point earlier, but it's an industry problem. So, specifically to your question, no, because that is an overarching mindset that so many studios like that have, where it's the brand name, and time again, not just in film, but you see that in pro wrestling, you see that in the sports arena. The idea that the brand itself, whether good or bad, is what makes you money has failed multiple times, and that's the issue that Disney has with Marvel. That's the issue that Disney has, obviously, with Lucasfilm, is that this, it's not just an indicator of the direction they're trying to take the company in. It's not just an indicator of specific views. It's the idea that it doesn't matter what the fuck we do, as long as we're trendy, the brand's going to make us $1 billion. And so to specifically towards your question, no, because so many brands have fucked up. No matter whether it's film, whether it's sports, whatever, you have all these brands fucking up. And I mean, you may have some outliers, some franchises, some brand names that do well, but no, it's been a constant. It's not just a Bob Iger thing. They do what is trendy. The corporate side of it is very copycat. And Marvel with DC and all the shit that came with, not just again because of these movies flopping, but when you take a certain stance that you think is going to make the brand name more profitable and something happens, you can't just back out of it. And so many franchises now have made that problem that no, I think we're living in a new time where, like you said, it's project to project. They've kind of forced themselves back a couple ages. So there is definitely not a damn franchise that could survive on name alone. Hell
no. What else do you guys think, or what do the other guys think?
No. There's no franchise that has it at all. I mean, they thought Star Wars would have it, but they were wrong because they want to do their own thing. I mean, they had it a little bit for Marvel, but then they tried to continue it instead of trying to, I don't know, pivot and go a different path. They're trying to do phase 5 now or whatever, and it's very clear nobody wants it. And I mean, obviously they've become real greedy because we've heard recently that what Disney Plus is trying to do the password sharing ban, and they've also increased their prices to $13 a month now for just Disney Plus by itself. So they're trying. No, they're trying everything and anything to get money from everybody, and it's just not working. It's just not working at all.
Yeah,
and on top of that, you have the one major stop. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, good,
actually,
man.
I'm my own opinion. I have lived lots of franchising since a lot of years. For me, for example, Marvel Studios ended with the Avengers Endgame. Luckily, existing the independent movie. For example, I'm waiting a lot for the Toxic Avenger remake. I don't know. I'm totally, I'm discovered Terrifier. I've seen the first. I'm looking at watch Terrifier 2, but maybe it's my problem because maybe I'm going too old to this new kind of franchise. For me, for example, Star Wars. For me, existing just the original trilogy. I am totally unable to watch the other stuff they did. I've tried to watch The Mandalorian. I like it, but it's not for me. That's my own opinion, of course.
Well, I think the other. Go ahead, Drew.
I was just gonna say I can't even watch the original trilogy anymore. I can't do it because I mean, really, everything they have done the last almost 10 years has really turned me off from Star Wars, and more so now after Ashoka, I'm like, I can't watch anything Star Wars. I'm done. DUN done. And I don't think anything at this point can really change my mind. I mean, unless they absolutely clean house, George buys it back, and he spearheads it all himself. That's the only way I think I may consider coming back. But at this point, no.
When everything heads towards
you are lying in front of us right now, and you are lying on Beyonce's internet. That is the wildest shit, and that's the other side of the coin where it's like, what? Like, I get the sentiment that you're saying. A lot of what you say I agree with, but there ain't no motherfucking way in hell I'm gonna stop enjoying when Darth Vader beats the shit out of his son. Like that's crazy talk. Like, you know,
it does sound crazy, but I can't watch it knowing where everything has led to this point with Kathleen Kennedy under her tenure. It taints everything that was established and set in place 30, 40 years ago. And just knowing where everything leads, I can't watch it because it's all ruined now.
So now Drew, that it's part of the zeitgeist that South Park made fun of her, and you know, let's just say, you know, optimistically speaking up in this motherfucker, that they change course here. Maybe that, I ain't gonna think that Bob Iger gonna be gone, but say this is kind of the volley shot that gets them to change course. You still gonna feel that way?
If they change course, like I said, if they change course or if George comes back into the picture and he takes charge again, spearheads it, it's a pipe dream. I know it's a pipe dream, but it's almost to that point. It's like I can't watch it. I refuse to. I can't do it. I can't enjoy.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle between your two guys' opinions. On the one hand, I still love the expanded universe. I still love the original trilogy. I even there's things that I like about the prequels, mostly because of some of the expanded universe. Some of the comics that John Ostrander and Jan Dracema did, Star Wars Republic under Dark Horse, really kind of fleshed out the Clone Wars before we ever had any cartoons based on it. So I still appreciate all those things, but I've been unable to go back and watch the original trilogy since The Last Jedi came out. And once Rise of Skywalker hit, it's been too much for me to go back and watch those original films. Although I'm sure that once I eventually do, my friend Marie encourages me all the time. She's like, you can still enjoy the Star Wars that you loved and, disregard all of the Disney Star Wars. And in general, I'm really good at having my own headcanon and cutting things out. But Star Wars was such a personal thing to me. It was so much a part of my childhood and so much a part of just me growing up and the way that I enjoyed stories. And it was just so huge that it is painful. It is painful to go back and watch that. And in your head, you're trying to block out Rey Palpatine, Rey Skywalker. You're trying to block out all that nonsense. Because now when you watch the original trilogy, you're like, well, this part doesn't matter anymore. Or this, they tried to invalidate this part. They tried to make this stupid. And then you start thinking about the Obi-Wan show and you're like, oh God, just kill me.
After Force Awakens, I didn't watch Star Wars for 6 months. And then one day I was just like, they can't really undo what you used to have. And then I kind of just was like, I hate these new ones, but I won't even double down on the original. What I guess the way I've handled it is my spending money to Star Wars has dried up. I'll still watch the movies, the original ones. I'll still enjoy A New Hope. I've actually gone back and I have a couple copies of the original, like the original untouched pre-special edition ones. I have the despecialized. I have 4K 77. I find myself going back to watch it because I always look at Star Wars as more of I look at it like I do the movie Halloween and other films that are kind of like inspirational filmmaking, where you look at somebody that had a vision and a goal and didn't necessarily have everything at their disposal, but they made something that stands the test of time. More so with something like Halloween because it had such a prohibitively small budget. But even Star Wars, by standards, the standards of 1977, didn't necessarily have the world's biggest budget. And they invented technology. They created new storytelling. They created and took us to worlds that had never been seen before and created filmmaking techniques that we marvel at still to this day. So I always look at Star Wars as more of a, I don't know, an artistic achievement. And I don't really look at it as the interconnected story. I'm in the weird minority of Star Wars fans where I don't really care about every little minute detail that's in print, and I don't care about every little this and that. I care about who people like Gil Taylor are, or the people that made the movie, or the production, or this or that. Like, and that's kind of why my interest in that movie never really goes away, because I'm always looking to learn more about the actual production of the movie, and I see it as a movie, not as this world I live in. I like Star Wars as a, I don't know, just as something that I can differentiate from reality. I talk about Star Wars the way I like to talk about comic books, where I'll talk about, you know, the artist or the inker. I don't really care about the writer or the editor as much, but I talk about it on a technical level because that's what I find fascinating. I'm more interested in talking about Lynn Varley and her color work on The Dark Knight Returns than I am, you know, the commentary on Ronald Reagan in 1980s America. So I kind of look at these things from a different point of view, and that's how I think I've kept my sanity with Star Wars, because no matter what Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger and Ryan Johnson and all these other assholes have done, they can't undo the hard work that everyone else did, you know, almost 50 years ago at this point. But that doesn't mean I don't understand where you guys are coming from, because like I said, after the Force Awakens, I even would tell Dion, I'm like, I don't watch Star Wars anymore, dude. I can't do it. Like, that opening of Stealing Solo is not an exaggeration. I was like a zombie when it came to that shit. I was like, what did they do? Like, how did they get away with this shit? And just watching other people, like, with smiles on their faces, that was fantastic. How did you not like it? Because I'm not an asshole. Like, I can tell what they're doing. I hate lazy movies. And so that was the epitome of lazy filmmaking, man. So
how embarrassed
coming from.
I think that's a really healthy attitude, Jeff. I hope that I can get there someday. But how embarrassed do you think the people are that were coming out of Force Awakens they were interviewing? I remember there's this one guy in the Jedi robe that he's wearing his Jedi robes and he's holding his lightsaber and he's like, that movie was amazing. It totally redeemed the prequels. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and he's going on, and I'm like, fast forward after Rise of Skywalker, and how does this guy feel now?
Dude,
is he still lying to himself?
I don't think his thoughts have changed, because I know people like that. I know people that will scream to the high heavens about how great the fucking sequel trilogy is, and, you know, fucking go and bait themselves to the thought of Rey Skywalker and things like that, probably literally and figuratively speaking. But, you know, I'm kind of like with Jeff, like, after the sequel trilogy, I did not watch Star Wars for a couple of years. Like, I just could not bring myself to do it. I'm able now to compartmentalize the three films and just say, these are three standalone films. They're the only three that exist in this universe, because that's the only way. Like, I can actually make it to where I can watch those three and not think about any of the bullshit that came before it or after it. You know, I think the prequels were elevated slightly by how bad the sequel trilogy was, but at the same time, I don't go and fire them up on a pedestal of great films. And I can watch the original trilogy. I don't get excited like, oh my God, I want to watch Star Wars again. It's just one of those, I haven't watched this in a while. You know, I kind of feel like watching it again. You know, that's how I am, because you can't unring the bell of what's happened, but you can at least just, you know, fuck it off and say, I ain't going to deal any of this stuff. Like Jeff, my money for Star Wars has dried up. I have zero desire to buy anything Star Wars related at all. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've got the DVDs that came out 15 or so years ago that had the special edition and the non-special edition DVDs in the same box, and I'm good with those. I have no need to upgrade to Blu-ray. I'm not going to buy anything new, but I can still watch the original trilogy occasionally and enjoy it for what it was and is.
Well said.
I want to find those, because those are the last ones that were really truly unaltered as far as I know.
If you want, I can send you guys 1080p rips of the original unaltered trilogy. Like, it's called Specialized.
Please.
And
yes.
Yeah, gladly. These guys, like, they restored it frame by frame. It looks as good as a Blu-ray. I even got a 4K rip of the original Star Wars. The audio isn't as good, and the quality of the picture, while it's 4K, it's like an untouched scan. So it's, you know, the colors are a little off. It could use some work, but I found that Star Wars fans are just so enthusiastic about the original edit that they overlook some of the technical issues. And that's fine. I'm not here to dig at those people. I care about the sound. I care about the picture quality. I care about the color timing. I care about all the aspects. And that's kind of why I just sucked it up and would watch the Blu-ray cuts for all those years, because there had never been anything that looked and sounded that good from Star Wars. So I don't like all the changes. I don't like half the shit that George Lucas added in, but like the Battle of Yavin's awesome and much better in that version. So I guess that's why I can sit there, because it's my favorite scene and my favorite, well, it used to be my favorite movie. And, you know, it's not Beverly Hills Cop, Dion. So you know what's up.
You get it. You get it.
Do you guys know if the guy that was doing Star Wars Revisited ever finished the trilogy?
Oh, 81 or 81?
Yeah, that's the guy.
I never paid attention because I don't want to come off like a pious asshole, but I don't like his, because to me, all he does is do a lesser version of the special edition. Like his edit the original Star Wars, when all of a sudden they're at the Battle of Yavin and the Imperial March starts playing and all the TIE fighters come in. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, you can bitch about Jabba the Hutt or anything they add, but this breaks the movie. So I just kind of ignored him. But that being said, I have not heard either way if he finished the trilogy. I know they're trying to finish the 4K rescans of all of those, but that's the only one I know about for sure.
I think the one thing that I saw someone do that I was like, oh, that's really cool, is they made the Ewoks blink. And they made Greedo blink, and I was like, I like little details like that where I'm like, it doesn't break, it only adds, it doesn't distract or take away. It just kind of like immerses you more. So I like little details when guys go in and do that. But yeah, I agree with you.
Ewok was George Lucas. That's an official change.
Yeah, I think that it was. He did that, but I think that Adiwan was the guy that made like Greedo blink and kind of added some things there that I was like, oh, that's cool. That doesn't distract me from the film. Mm-hmm. Little minor things that enhance.
So you're
I think
saying as long as they edit it and they don't make it McClunky, you're okay with it?
I want to know who McClunky is. I think that's the best new Star Wars character. That's the one that should replace Rey. It should be McClunky McClunky Skywalker is where we need to go with this franchise.
McClunky Chevrolet. Anyway, yeah, those changes are. It's funny though how like ever since the South Park special dropped, I've been reading a lot of people say it's the Star Wars fans that are responsible for this because they bullied George Lucas into selling to Disney. I'm sure there's a lot of validity to that. People were savage. There was the film The People versus George Lucas. Red Letter Media built an entire career ripping on the prequels, which I like Red Letter Media. I like the channel quite a bit. My only complaint, and it isn't even them, it's people only use their criticisms as their frame of reference to dig on the prequels. And if you don't like those movies, that's fine. More power to you. But don't mimic them and don't ape them. I hate that. It's like, come up with a differing opinion. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But don't use somebody else's words to describe how you feel. I feel like that's kind of lame and lazy.
But Jeff, how else will I validate myself by agreeing with the opinions of others?
Well, damn it, Kendo, I don't have a response for that one because you're right.
Well, that's the problem in everything right now. That's the problem in everything right now, from politics to religion to entertainment to everything that we discuss, is that there's just a lot of people out there who have a lot of received opinions. They've never looked at anything critically. They don't know how. They don't know how to think for themselves, and so they just ape what they've heard. And if they generally, if they generally have a feeling,
opinions. Create an echo chamber. Validate your opinions by only hearing stuff that agrees with you,
and then be shocked and have your feelings hurt when you find out there's people in the real world who don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, me personally, I am a huge proponent of free speech as long as it's speech I agree with. Everything else will shut down in the
Right.
The freest speech is compelled speech.
And that goes back perfectly to, and people have to also remember not only that, right? That's a huge component of it, but the fact that a lot of that was engineered, right? Like that. Especially, that information coming out, especially from Gina Carano, that's the other side of the coin where, for those people who you're asking about earlier, how are they feeling in when they're sitting in their basement and South Park made fun of Kathleen Kennedy, the dude that was doing that interview, he's confused as fuck because, that company that you think is doing the thing that you like, that you agree with, they also, the reason they're bullying publications, or the reason that they're forcing, Google to take away the dislike button, is to keep you in that fucking echo chamber. So it's not just the person-to-person people who are potentially sensitive or whatever, it's like, yo, companies use that against you. And that's the other side of the failure of Kathleen Kennedy and why it's so funny that it's such an issue. It's being brought up on fucking South Park. Like they also got caught with their fucking hands in the cookie jar, wanting to be a part of that. And it's fucking that's why it's so funny that it was South Park that got them to start thinking about that shit now. So it's gonna be an interesting time for them, man.
Do you think any other show is gonna poke fun at Disney? Do you think? I
Absolutely.
know people like talk, and South Park talks about it. Simpsons did it, but do you think other people are gonna start like digging in, because this has been an online thing for so long, and you can't ignore it anymore? I hope another show does it just for fun.
Yeah. Well,
It's safe now.
I hope. Yeah.
What were you
I
saying,
think
Drew?
Family Guy could do it. I was gonna say I think Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane.
But
he may-
Family Guy's owned by Disney though.
Yeah.
So they
And
can't.
Seth MacFarlane in the Disney
yeah.
ownership, he's fucking said, I just keep Family Guy going to afford to do my other shit. So even he is kind of he's simply
if they're
just
not-
resigned to the fact that South Park's part of that chamber thing.
Yeah, so if he's not going to do it, then I don't see anyone else doing it, because I mean, even South Park. I mean, that's what's great about South Park. They do not hold back on anyone ever, and it honestly, I don't see anyone else, in my opinion, being as brave as them to do it. I think they may be the only ones for right now who are going to do it.
I think we are seeing.
The business aspect's going to be, Netflix or Amazon or HBO Max. They give a lot of these shows money now, and especially now that South Park's doing it. We may not see it from a equivalent to Family Guy, but on these other streaming services, this is the corporation part. That's blood in the water. South Park made a fucking jab at the great and powerful Disney and Kathleen Kennedy. If I'm Netflix or HBO or Amazon trying to get into the game, you give money to some, comedian that doesn't mind punching up either. A lot more people, and this is a copycat league, a lot more people are going to be wanting to take salvos too. And, that's one reason why now we're starting to hear like in the Variety article about, now they're starting to take a look back and be like, this is going to become a competitive advantage now. And I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say it's not going to be something like Family Guy, but don't be surprised if if Netflix gives, I don't know, Neil Blomkamp money to make a movie, he decides to kind of poke some fun at the establishment, they're going to fucking do it and they're going to use it.
I hope
There's cover now to do it.
It's not going to be Family Guy though, because Seth MacFarlane knows where his bread gets buttered. So he's not going to try to hurt anybody's fifis because he wants to still get to go to the red carpet.
I think you're right though. There's blood in the water, and these companies now, they have cover. Even the media has cover now. They're now saying the things about Marvel that we've all been saying on YouTube for years now. We saw the iceberg coming, and we started to point out that there's an iceberg, and we were called all kinds of names for it. When really the reason that we were offering criticism is because we actually cared about the direction of these properties. But instead, they decided to abuse us, to call us names, to, try and vilify us, because how could they possibly be wrong? They're Hollywood. And they forgot that it's the fans spending their money the same way that comics did. And it's so weird that what happened in comics was taken, like the ideas that ruined the comic book market were then taken by Hollywood, and now they're killing Marvel. Who could have seen that coming? Well, it was everybody on YouTube that was talking about it. And instead of treating us like market research from your fan base, you convinced yourselves that we were a vocal minority and that everything was fine. And then you started to see the merchandise sales drop. You started to see all the stuff at Ollie's that you guys document all the time, just all the Star Wars product, all the Marvel product. I can tell you right now, as a guy who also sells toys, Marvel Legends, Marvel product is dead. It is dead. It is the and that's why you're seeing it hit Ollie's. There's an action figure apocalypse coming, the same way that the comics apocalypse is here, and the way that Hollywood is having this apocalypse. You have turned off people to your product. They don't want to spend money on it. Just like you guys are like, my Star Wars dollars have dried up. So have mine. So have a lot of people's. And we're not we may be a vocal minority, but we're not the minority. There's just a bunch of people that just walk away and never say anything.
Okay,
Well, I was gonna say, especially in this day and age where the dollar don't mean jack shit anymore. You walk down the clearance aisle of Walmart not too long ago, and you're gonna see a bunch of fucking Wakanda Forever things, all sorts of Marvel stuff. Because he's right, Marvel goodies are just as dead as Kelsey's nuts too. I mean, there's nothing going on there for them. People are learning to be more discerning with their money these days, and they are not throwing it at shit that just isn't for them or has spit in their face.
Oh yeah.
And
Don't tell me
and I mean-
Namor is on discount. No.
Oh, dude, everywhere. Dude, those things were on sale when the movie was fresh out of the theater or fresh out in theaters. Like when I was out living in California, I would go to Ralph's and they would have Wakanda Forever stuff on clearance by checkout, and the movie was like 2 weeks old at that point. So, and Target had 2 massive overhauls of clearance this year. Now, I understand they do a seasonal clearance to get stuff ready for the holiday season. I'm not oblivious to how the stuff works. And I only preface that because a lot of people think we make up our Ollie's videos somehow. Like, they think I bought thousands of Marvel toys and I put them in a fake store. Like, that's the type of messages I fucking get.
God.
People are stupid as shit. And I'm so tired of that, too. Like, this guy was like, I thought you faked all these. With what? CGI? If I had the CGI budget to fake those Ollie's videos, wouldn't I fake something better, like a Wokebusters movie or like Stealing Solo or something? Like, why would I make video or use CGI to make it look like those Shuri copters have never sold a single toy?
And yeah, and if you had that kind of money for that CGI, why would you be on fucking YouTube?
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be.
Jeff, I had a guy on Instagram tell me that Ollie's, he had never heard of Ollie's and it sounded fake, so obviously it didn't exist.
Oh,
you know what
dear
I would have said to that
God.
guy? Usually I look at under the official WCBS banner, I treat everyone with respect and I try to be professional. But if somebody sent me a stupid ass message like that, I'd say, "Do you know how to use Google?"
That's exactly what I said. I said Google. I said,
it.
number 1, Google is a thing, and number 2, that statement makes me think that I could fill volumes with things that you've never heard of.
Yep.
People who are that goddamn fucking lazy, who can't even like lift their hand and like click the screen and then type something in on their fucking smartphone to be like, oh, it's real, just should go wash their toaster. Okay.
This is one of those things that goes with the whole like echo chamber thing. If I don't know it exists, if it's not if it doesn't exist in my world, then it's not real.
Right.
That's so many people out there. And what I was saying though about that Marvel apocalypse that came recently, Target got rid of all their stuff on 50%, and we're talking new stuff, like stuff for the Marvels, the movie that's not even out yet, which folks you can hear a review next week. That was on clearance right as it came out.
Yep.
What is it? Lego had the T'Challa bust, on their site. It never sold out. It was always there. It was like $200.
And you're a Lego guy. You know exactly how to follow. Our buddy Enrique in the chat, he's a Lego guy too. And he's like, look, man, I know you, because we talk about like how to invest in toys and this. And he's like, dude, this Marvel stuff or this Disney stuff, people don't care about new Star Wars. They care about the classic ones. And he's like, you, man, he knows about the investment and the brick websites and all that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, dude. No, I'm in it, man. I'm in it like if I was a fucking day trader to stock, doing stocks. Like, yeah, I'm in it.
You're a Lego yuppie. I love it.
Some of the most expensive figures in Hasbro's line are the expanded universe figures, and the expanded universe is something that Disney had threw away. They just tossed it in the garbage because they wanted to do their own thing. And then we had that story where Kathleen Kennedy goes, "Well, Star Wars isn't like Marvel. We don't have any source material to draw on. There are no novels, no comic books." And it was like you literally threw all that in the garbage, and you keep strip mining it.
But then they started to steal from it.
Yeah, they started strip mining it to do terrible versions.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it's a ship on fire just rolling down a hill now, basically. And it's like, when is it gonna hit the bottom? That's the thing now.
Well, that bottom's coming because in my working capacity, as you guys know, with the Utes of America, none of them are talking about Marvel movies. None of them are talking about Star Wars. Like, their pop culture and what they're into is substantially different than what
I'm sure
the people making decisions think they're into. And unless they start cranking out fucking Fortnite movies, they're gonna be hurting. Well,
they tried doing Five Nights at Freddy's, but that was, I think, way too fucking late.
Yeah, I mean that ship on that's kind of sailed. Although that movie did very well.
It was pretty lame.
Oh,
It did
okay.
very
I
well, but
didn't-
it's lame. I thought it was okay. It's not great. It's okay. I mean, honestly, the Nick Cage movie he did, that's kind of a knockoff of it, was pretty damn good. I enjoyed that, even
Willy's
though he didn't
Wonderland.
like making it. Yeah,
Okay.
that was awesome.
Okay. Yeah, because I watched Five Nights at Freddy's recently, and I was like, it's okay. I thought the ending was real nice, but just like, I don't know, just the breaking up of the main character constantly going to the place, coming back, and the weird things happening kept like breaking the suspense all the time, you know. So it was weird.
That's because that's how the game works. You're locked in a fucking Chuck E. Cheese, and you're trying not to get killed by the robots.
Gotcha.
Well, Nick, you're not alone because I turned it off as well. I thought, I'm going to watch this for October. We're going to do a review. We'll talk about it. I just did not like it whatsoever. I was,
and
between the guy from the Hunger Games and the brand that doesn't mean anything to me, I gave up.
I mean, I was surprised to see Matthew Lillard, and I kind of watched it for him, and like his arc was really good in the movie. But that was about it. And it was, once again, it was very small. I did end up watching Goosebumps the first 2 episodes. I'm just like, you were right, Jeff. It was just fucking terrible. I was like, I can't do this.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street.
No. I know what it is. You want to know what it is? It's Needful Things. It's Needful Things.
Mm.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's good. That's nice catch there, Nick.
You're welcome, sir.
He is a horror filmmaker. I feel like
That's my man right there. Ooh,
he's world class, baby.
warm and fuzzy in my nethers.
Oh,
so that was a fun time to talk about the South Park episode. I definitely want to talk about this Marvel article in a minute, but is there anything you guys want to say before we jump into our next subject? Folks in the chat, hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know you enjoy this content and to help us grow on our way to 200K.
Say right now, this is like that scene in Rocky 4 when Rocky punches Drago and Drago bleeds, and his trainer's like, "You see, he's a man. He can bleed." That it's like this is just the beginning of the.
That's
bleeding.
right.
And
Kathleen Kennedy's a man and
hope-
she bleeds.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's Kathleen Kennedy is Xerxes in 300, and South Park made the God Queen bleed.
Or
Yes.
or is she or is she Finkel or Einhorn? Or Einhorn is Finkel. What's it's one of those things.
Oh, I got that button I should press.
Are you suggesting that Kathleen Kennedy used to be a prevalent place kicker?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Laces out.
Damn it, beat me to it. What a sports
man.
nut, huh?
Yeah, well, that movie's not exactly relevant either because in football practice, whenever the holder would do it wrong, I'd be like, "Laces out, Dan," and only the coaches knew what I was saying. I'm like, y'all need to go watch movies that came out before 2012.
Exactly.
All I'm saying.
Exactly.
They're like, "Oh, that motherfucker was raised in the 90s."
Back when pop culture was better. I mean, look, 80s, 90s, they were the 2 best decades for pop culture. I do love some of these movies, though.
I
To
mean,
the advent of the internet, baby, it's changed the game so much so that South Park's taking motherfucking giving body shots to Disney, baby, and that welcome to the internet.
Yep,
You'd
here we
think,
go.
though, with the internet giving everybody access to all this stuff, like kids would be like up to date on all these references because you have access to it. You don't even have to watch the movie anymore. It's like if people are like, "What's Show Me the Money?" Type in "Show Me the Money" on YouTube, and you can watch Tom Cruise scream at Cuba Gooding Jr. And you can just that's the interesting thing I found about today. A lot of pop culture junkies are kind of like the fake it till you make it pop culture junkie, where it's like, "Have you seen this thing? Oh yeah, the movie with that scene about this, that, and the other." And they've only watched a couple clips on YouTube, but at least they're trying. But I always kind of get frustrated because pop culture is entertainment. It's not like you're being tasked to, write a paper on the Louisiana Purchase or any of these other things like that. It's, you're just fucking watching a movie.
Yeah,
And they're good movies too.
Well, and also, Jeff, they have no fucking excuse not to watch these movies because they have infinite access across everything to watch it.
Well, the thing is this, and again, I have a little bit of an insight to the Utes. Anything that came out before they were born is irrelevant to this group. Like nothing. I mean, probably the same thing kind of happened to our generation, but we didn't have the way to scream about it because the other day some kid referred to something that came out. I forgot what it was. It was something I was talking about, and I said something about it. Or no, we were talking about somebody, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's one of those old guys from the 1900s." If I could have suspended that kid on the spot, I would have done so. I would have launched him headfirst into the window and been like, yeah, because the 1900s, oh, motherfucker. I guess that's how kids back in like 1920, some kid referred to the 1800s, and some 40-year-old was probably wanting to fucking beat the brakes off of him. So
you could back then, though.
You could. Like, you could walk over,
Yeah,
slam him face first into the desktop, and just be like, shut up, Billy.
Drink your milkshake.
Yeah, but that's just kind of how it is. Like, they live way too much in the now, and like literally in the now 30 seconds of the time on their TikToks. And if there's a reference that's made to a movie that came out, in 1998, it's the 1900s, according to them, fucking assholes. And it's irrelevant. It's only the shit that's going on now that is actually going to matter.
And I mean,
another problem.
It's weird. I mean, don't they have don't they think that the reason they have things now is because of the past? Like, it all kind of like keeps going, like, because of the shit that happened before.
I'm sure,
you guys are literally explaining in elongated sentences the fact that we're getting older. Like that.
There's that. Okay, there is that.
That's 100% true. 100% true.
What we are living, and Kendo touched perfectly onto it. The fucking internet here now. So we now understand, even though some of us, that's the crazy thing about the internet is, we have the power of nostalgia. So we now understand where our parents were with us. The difference being the other us, the next generation, has the internet. They can say shit into the internet and somebody will hear it. We didn't have that. So we weren't necessarily so quick to go. I mean, we went to the next thing quickly, but not as fast, because it's like you said, you can just pull it up. Why the fuck do you have to watch a movie? Yeah, these kids don't know they don't know how awesome Lethal Weapon is, because it's other bullshit. And
they couldn't handle it either.
And they couldn't handle it. But that's when this shit started happening with, perfectly, we're talking about the thing with South Park. Corporations started feeding on that. They went for the thing that was fickle. Get this, it's popular, make it kind of about that. They'll be okay with it, and then they'll move on to the next thing. And they forgot about the motherfuckers that love Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They forgot about, hey, the kids who loved it are still doing South Park, and they will still take shots at you because, surprise, your fan base isn't made of idiots.
Well, those chucklefuck kids they're 20-something-year-olds that wouldn't shut up about John Cena at the tailgate were kind of the prime example of what I feel, Kendo's talking about, because they lacked the perspective. Like, growing up, we knew who Ric Flair was. We knew about these things that were decades before what we were watching. We knew these things that were generations before us. It's just they don't pay attention to that stuff. And I was like, how do you guys not know who Macho Man Randy Savage is? Or how do you not know, this or that? It's like they have one frame of reference and they never let it go.
They also have no attention span, because they have an algorithm that feeds them entertainment in 15-second bites. Now, there is one anomaly to all this. Well, technically two. Some of the most popular bands at the school I work at are like Maiden and Slayer and Ozzy and all that stuff, which props to them for picking good music. But the second thing is Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one of the most popular movies inside the school. And I saw numerous killer clowns walking around the other night trick-or-treating. I gave them extra candy.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I've had kids
right now.
I've had kids at school. They were, during October.
The movie went viral a little bit ago, like on Twitter or something. So to his point,
didn't they come out with a game recently? Didn't they?
Yeah,
do
it's coming out. There's a game coming out too.
Yep. So that one made it into the algorithm, and the kids caught on, and it went viral. And that's what you brought up, wrestling. That's why we can't. The idea for the show came up over a decade ago, because we saw it happen already in wrestling. So that's you making the perfect example of, Vince McMahon did the exact same shit. Instead of catering to the portion of the fan base who knows who Ric Flair is, he's trying to give you a million superstars a minute, like a John Cena, and then make some other bullshit and cater to this kid fan base that has no fucking attention span. And there were some terrible fucking years in wrestling. And you're trying to tell Star Wars as a fan base, to the earlier point made about, not buying shit. Most of the fan base has seen this happen before. There's hard data that does not fucking work. Kathleen Kennedy's gonna fuck it up for everybody. Congratulations, everybody. Max and Kathleen.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew you do. And we were trying to say that. And they didn't let, to throw away and then feign like you don't know about the books. That's not, that's a calculated move. And that shit came up Snake Eyes because it happens all the time.
Yeah, and I also love how Disney was like, all of a sudden they realized the internet, they thought the internet wasn't a thing and people wouldn't remember anything they said or anything that had happened. It's like, no, everything you said, especially like, we're going to not use the EU, but we're going to take pieces from it. It's like, how are you this stupid? How are all of you this stupid that you don't see this? Like, we know what you're doing. It's, come on, man.
Yeah.
You took the smartest character in Star Wars and you made him a moron on Ahsoka. Congratulations. You guys did a great job. Pat yourself on the back.
Right, but because it checks the welcome to the Panderverse. That's what makes it so calculated. Because it doesn't fucking work. But for whatever reason, let's take great characters and give them shit that does not make sense against the shit that we bought, and they're gonna be fine with it. They're just gonna move on. They're gonna move on. We'll just tell YouTube to take the dislike button away. We'll just tell YouTube to block certain words against the algorithm so videos aren't suggested for people. They thought that was gonna work. It's like, bitch, that's not how the internet works. You can't just do it and people forget about the shit. And hey, the shit came up Snake Eyes, and now there's an episode of South Park making fun of Kathleen Kennedy.
Well,
that's fucking wild.
Yeah, I remember we learned, I think, a couple months ago about them. Officially, we learned a couple months ago about them like buying stuff or forcing Rotten Tomatoes to do things. So.
Oh yeah. And while we're on the topic of it, did you hear about how HBO had fake accounts to engage with negative reviews?
Oh yeah.
They did it on Reddit too. They did it on Reddit too. So, because that was another part of, the shit that was coming out now is falling apart out of Disney. They would have bot accounts that go and downvote any post criticizing. I think it was like Daisy Ridley and obviously the titles of the fucking sequel stuff. So they got busted on that too.
These entertainment companies they're just really petty and lame. It's like they can't handle anything. You guys are Hollywood. You're supposed to be able to do anything, including handle a little bit of criticism.
Have you ever met an actor, Jeff, or hung around them? They're the most like they want to be liked and want to be respected.
I know, and here's the thing: all they're good at is faking.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes not even that, but
yeah, well, that's part of the problem. I mean, Led Zeppelin didn't like tunes that everybody liked. They left that up to the Bee Gees. Everyone's gonna love everything you do.
I think the one actor I'd like to just kind of like get into a verbal fight with is Mark Ruffalo. It's just something I don't like about that guy.
Zack fucking Snyder, dude.
The fact that he's a pretentious twat.
God, you know who I kept seeing on my feed during the whole like writer strike was Adam Conover, and I was like, you know what? I thought you were cool for half a second. I was like, I want to punch you in the face real bad right now. I really do.
He's so punchable. Like I've never seen a more punchable face.
God. I kept watching little pieces from his like argument with Rogan. I'm just like, God, you are just so underprepared. It is amazing that you're just trying to argue with this guy, and it's like you have nothing. You have nothing.
Well, that would be Ruffalo going up against Jeff. He would be the Conover in that situation, because Ruffalo, like if you read the things that he posts, he's very dumb. And he's very surface, like a lot of actors are. And I actually met him, Chris Hemsworth, and Taika Waititi when they were promoting.
Name drop.
Yeah. But like, this is why. I met him. So what? I met some people. Who cares? But like, so I meet Ruffalo first, and he's just like a total stuffed shirt. Like, just the immediate vibe that you get off of him is that this guy is just empty. And then you meet Hemsworth and you're like, I want to get a beer with this dude. This dude is cool. He's like joking around. He's having a good time. He's like a genuine person. And at the time, this is before Taika Waititi like blew up in Hollywood and it all went to his head. And then he was insulting VFX artists while, banging Tessa Thompson and her friend on a boat. he was at the time he was very humble because I said, yeah, I was really excited to meet you because I'm a big fan of What We Do in the Shadows and some of the other films that you've made, but particularly that one I absolutely loved. And he was just really humble and really cool at the time. But yeah, man, it was like that was always the thing that stuck out in my head was just how different the experience with those two guys was from the one with Ruffalo.
Oh God. Hey Jeff, do you want to start following and criticizing Ruffalo on Twitter?
You must be able to read my mind because I was going to say after this, do we want to start a Twitter war with Mark Ruffalo?
Yes.
See what can happen. He's out of work right
he's
now.
He's 100% disarmed too. Like he won't be able to go to the fucking playbook of calling you a racist or a misogynist or a homophobe.
Oh God, if you do a video reply to him, oh my God, he would lose it. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, he'd be like, he'll just be like, your criticism is wrong. And the one guy on your panel is a racist. I'd be like, fuck. Okay, you picked me, and I didn't even say nothing.
Listen. That man is my friend, and I only get to call him a racist. Okay, that's
right. Regardless of whether or not it's true, that's not the important thing.
Especially when it's not true.
All right, guys, we'll have something ready for Tuesday since we don't know when the actors' strike could end at any moment. So we got to get Mark Ruffalo while he's out of work.
Yeah, you got to get him now because that Film Actors Guild could go back to the work anytime now, and you want to get him while he has no distractions. Folks, you heard it here first. Starting on Tuesday, we will be going to war with Mark Ruffalo. son of a bitch.
What's our platform? Like, what are we going to start? Like, what do we go after?
Just
how bad he is as an actor?
I don't. No. Just anything you dummy says. Be like, all right, here's the facts, buddy. Calm down.
Oh my God! If you guys are just if that's gonna be your range is him saying something dumb, you guys are gonna be on Twitter 24/7. Everything he says is dumb.
Yeah, if you really want to dig deep, if you want to peel the layers back and fucking clock him hard, there's a Penn and Teller bullshit episode where they talk about world peace, and he's in there. They have Mark Ruffalo quoting about what world peace looks like, and he says it's him and his wife and his kids in bed together. So right there, you can just hammer him on that shit and talk about how fucking out of touch and stupid he is.
Oh my God,
that's weird, man.
Oh jeez, I remember he took a picture while he was like picketing or whatever, and he tried to look like he was homeless. I'm like, buddy, don't do that. Don't do that. We can Google your net worth right now. Calm the fuck down, okay?
If you really want to kick him in the dick, just do a thing, just a shot across the bow of rating Hulks, and just be like, put Eric. You got Eric Bana. You've got fucking Edward Norton. You've got fucking what's his name, Lou Ferrigno,
Bill Bixby.
Yeah,
he wasn't even the Hulk. He was just Banner, but he was still better.
You could rate them all, and then you could put fucking Mangina Ruffalo at the bottom, and just watch him melt down. Hopefully,
or you can take.
I just like the word
John Belushi when he played in SNL.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Literally everyone to ever play the Hulk. Guy, Dion, do me a favor. Say Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
You're better than Mark Ruffalo, bro. You're way higher than him.
The guy that played the Hulk on Superhero Squad. Anybody who's ever
the guy that voiced the Hulk fucking figure on Robot Chicken.
Chris Farley when he played him during the Death Superman funeral scene on Saturday Night Live.
Kendo, we should even fuck up let's put Hulk Hogan on the list above Mark Ruffalo.
Yes, he's a far better Hulk. Not by much, brother, dude Jack, but he's up there.
Oh my God.
I mean, he lifted Andre the Giant 300 feet in the air and slammed him to the center of the earth, dude.
Yeah, he was the first person to ever do that, according to Hulk Hogan.
He's the
and Andre died.
Of wrestlers.
Andre died 2 weeks later, according to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and he tore every muscle in his back when he picked up fucking Andre the Giant, even though he was wrestling later that week. But
he also wrestled 400 days in a year.
That's true.
Isn't Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan in a film coming up?
I think he is actually.
They need to cast me as Andre the Giant. Oh, Chris Hemsworth goes higher. That's got to sting a little bit.
Hulk Hogan was asked to be the guitarist in Metallica.
Yeah, he's good friends with Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, Lars was begging him.
Also, he was the first woman ever cast as an action hero in. Oh no! Wait, that was someone else.
Yeah, I've got it on good authority that was Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh God. But yeah, Jeff. Whenever you have free time and if we're following Ruffalo, just clap back at him.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll fire a few shots whenever you guys need a little cavalry support.
Oh, 100%.
let's follow him right now because Mark Ruffalo, where are you at, my friend?
I'll jump into the fray to get him to redirect his fire towards me.
All right, we officially
what he'll
follow
do.
Mark Ruffalo. Now I'm turning off notifications for all tweets and replies.
There we go.
Oh my god.
We're going to war.
Oh my god.
Oh my
You're gonna
God,
hurt his
here's-
feelings. He's not gonna want to be in your Woke Busters movie when it comes out.
Well, that's
Oh,
fine.
thank
We
God!
worked-
I was so concerned he would be up, taking up so much of the budget.
I feel like when we were coming up with the casting list, we haven't come up with yet. His name never made it on that list of ideas to play that movie.
He can play the mayor, even though the mayor's a woman in the story. We'll gender swap it and make it Mark Ruffalo.
Be like,
How does
we
that make
would
you
like
feel,
to play
Dion?
this.
You're going to hit on the mayor.
I mean, depends on the mayor.
And we'll
Mark
tell him we
Ruffalo.
have to do it with practical effects. He has to dress in drag. We'll see how deep his fucking convictions really run.
Yeah.
Well, here's his most recent tweet. Outdoor workers across South Florida with We Count Florida have built a historic campaign to win a first in the nation of municipal heat standard to protect workers and save lives. Sign on to show your solidarity. Okay.
You should.
Yes, we
you
should totally make the weather do what we tell it to.
You
'cause
should.
that's a
You
thing.
should say. Hey, Ruffalo, why don't you use your money and pay for some of their shelters or give them some waters or some some shit like that.
Yeah.
He
Buy
tweeted,
all the
man. That's enough.
Buffalo.
He tweeted. That's enough.
Yeah, it's not about actually doing anything. It's about virtue signaling that something should be done. That's the important thing.
He sent that
And
tweet and then he
save
sat
lives.
back. He sat back in his chair and he said, "I'm a really good person."
I saved lives.
Oh god.
Wait, is this? Well, I just got to get the name of this. Oh my God. Mark Ruffalo retweets something from the Center for Countering Digital Hate, and it's an anti-Elon Musk Twitter video. Wow, Mark.
Jesus.
Maybe that's
But he's on Twitter after promising to leave because of Elon Musk. He
Yeah.
just can't. None of these guys can resist the attention. They go away for like 20
These are-
minutes.
These are also the people who bought his Roadster for $150,000 when it first came out because it was.
These are the
battery
people that
powered.
also said they were going to move to Canada in 2016, and last time I checked, they still fucking live here.
Yeah.
It's because they found out of Canada's tax rate.
All right, there we go. I responded to Mark Ruffalo's stupid video, but you're on Twitter. So there you go, buddy. Leave Twitter. Leave everything.
Shots fired.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
He's going to come back and be like, "I'm the resistance." That's why I'm on
goal is-
Twitter.
And then you
I
got to
just
go
wanna get
low
blocked by
with
Mark Ruffalo.
resist D's nuts.
Oh god,
Oh,
it's gonna be funny when he calls it starts throwing names at Jeff and Jeff has to do a live video being like, "Listen, Mark, I'm not white, buddy. Sorry to tell you that."
Dear Mark, vision must not be your strong suit because there are pictures of us. We're not hidden what we look like.
He'll
We're in
just
the
assume
comics.
you're
We're
me.
on the logo. It's like maybe you get the voices wrong, and that's okay. But they say that all men are created equal, Kendo, and you look at us and you look at the rest of the internet, and that's just not true. So
That's
you normally
right.
got a 50-50 chance at best, I guess, in who we are. But we're not normal. We're genetic freaks.
Correct.
Kurt Angle knows he can't beat us.
Nope.
Oh man! Shout out to our wonderful chat tonight, folks. We have Fenrir Howes, we have Clone Geek, we have Angelina Sereni, we have James Unchained. We also have Taylor Swift, greater than Disney Star Wars. You're a moron spelled backwards, or you're all morons. Sir Angus Fungus. Everybody in the chat tonight, thank you for joining us. Hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know you enjoy this world-class content as we continue to grow on our way to 200K. All right, guys, I'm going to take the South Park image down. But, folks, the show is not over. We don't do hour 44-minute shows. I don't think we've done them in the past, but we're not doing that today. We have some awesome stuff to talk about. But let me pull up this image here because I think this is accurate to what we're going to talk about in just a moment. The It's funny. This episode or this image comes out right after the South Park episode, and it's like the perfect image to represent Disney because of all the problems they got going on. So here it is. There we are, and we're going to talk about the Variety article in just a moment.
I mean, I love how accurate that fucking image is. That is ridiculous. Like Iron Man's like holding it up, and you have Captain Marvel like on the way down.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
That's funny shit.
Spider-Man can only do so much heavy lifting. It's really Iron Man at the box office that's going to do a lot for the MCU. Garth Vader, we're doing it currently on Twitter. So if you want to join us, folks, in the battle to save humanity against Mark Ruffalo, follow World Class PS on Twitter. Make sure you follow Mark Ruffalo, and I guess we'll figure out how to take down the Hulk because he's tearing apart humanity one tweet at a time. What an odd thing to do. Maybe one day we'll have a Mark Ruffalo episode. We'll Dion, you ever watch 13 Going on 30? That's a yes.
Yeah. Motherfucker, yeah. There he is.
I have a wife from the suburbs. I actually have.
I know. Believe me, I'm not here to cast judgment. I just want to make sure you're our secret weapon because, oh wait, Mark Ruffalo's birthday is coming up. We should make sure we message him on his birthday.
Mark Ruffalo birthday stream.
Yes.
You can watch
He's
him in
only
the horror
5.
classic, The Dentist.
Oh god, that's a good movie. Mark Ruffalo is only 5'8", so he's a tiny little guy. God,
I don't even think he's that tall.
Yeah,
I think he's fudging those numbers.
That's his build height, Jeff.
It's his build.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like
4'11".
5. He's like 5'6".
His kid's taller than him.
God.
His wife's about as tall as him. Oh well, Mark. Good for you, pal. Now I really want to meet him because I just want to like pat him on the top of the head and say, "Man, you're tiny."
Look at the tiny little Hulk. Oh, he's so cute.
Don't do that, man. You won't let me when I get angry. What are you gonna do? Kick me in the shins, Mark Ruffalo?
He's gonna go tweet about it.
He's gonna jump up on a ladder and start the ruckus.
Bring it on, Mark. I'm surprised you can climb a ladder with those tiny little legs.
He runs into the room and it looks like when Chucky runs in.
Do you think he can reach the top shelf in his closet, or does his wife have to get for him?
No, he's got one of those little claw things he gets, get his shoes down, from the top.
He's like Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget legs.
Oh my god.
All right. That was awesome. By the way, folks, we're going to do all the super chats in our segment, but I wanted to give a shout out to our friend, It's Chad. I had the distinct pleasure of being on the Articulated Chat channel last night, and it was a blast. We streamed for a little over 2 hours. We talked about toys. We talked about Hasbro. We talked about some of this Disney stuff. We talked about everything. Chad is an awesome host. He has a great channel, and I'd like you guys to go over there and subscribe to his channel right now to help spread the word about another awesome toy channel. If you enjoy what we do at Ollie's and what we do talking about the toys the way we do, then you're going to love the Articulated Chad channel. So go over there, subscribe, tell him that Jeff of WCBS sent you, and go be entertained on nights when WCBS isn't streaming. So, Chad, I hope you're still in the chat, man. Last night's show was a blast. It was great to meet you face-to-face and talk, well, virtually, that is. And it was a great time. So I can't wait to have another stream and to have you on WCBS, man. So, folks, be on the lookout for Articulated Chad joining us very, very soon. And his message says, Fanny, faux Fanny. Fee-fi Fanny. Fanny. By the way, Chad, if you're in the chat, there you are. If you wouldn't mind dropping the link to last night's stream in the chat, our listeners would like to check it out. Dr. Coffin Nails will be there as soon as this show's over. So, folks, go show some love to the Articulated Chad channel. And if you're a YouTuber and you want WCBS to appear, shoot us a message. We want to go on good channels that produce good content. We're not worried about numbers and stuff. So, folks, if you have any recommendations of where you'd like to see me or the guys go, shoot us an email and follow us on Twitter. You'll catch us fighting Mark Ruffalo and all the bullshit that he puts out into the world. Do you think Mark Ruffalo is taller than Rose Tico?
No.
Do you think
With his
potato
lifts.
sack just as good?
Yeah, with his Kane Hodder lifts. Yeah, he's probably taller.
Oh my god.
That broke my heart when I met Kane Hodder. He was such a nice guy, but I'm like, what are you wearing, man? Why are you so short?
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna fuck up, Nick. We're gonna actually get a huge portion of the audio, like the internet, to rub an eyes against Mark Ruffalo.
I mean, he deserves it. He really does. He's just, I don't know, man. He's
A
He's a
douche.
moron.
Just
He's a
say it.
moron.
He's a douche.
He is a douche. Yeah. No, I was trying to look for the. I was trying to be nice about it. I was trying to articulate the correct word, but no, douche. Douche explains it. That's good. I like douche.
I was gonna say you could say cockstain. That works too.
No, Cockstain's good. Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's start talking about this Marvel article, because this is some of the meatiest information that has dropped this week. We just dropped a video on it today. I have a couple other things I want to say, so be on the lookout for a few other videos over the weekend into next week, the build up to Captain Marvel 2, the movie that no one cares about, but it'll be good for a laugh. And I hope Mark Ruffalo shows up in a cameo, because then we can laugh even harder. But word on the street is that Kelsey Grammer is supposed to appear in a cameo role as Beast from the X-Men. And like South Park said, multiverses are lazy, they're stupid, I don't like them. I felt just like Stan and Kyle did. I think multiverses suck. And so we're going to get ready to open up the wound that is the multiverse of Marvel even more, and jump into bringing back old characters and the like. But let's start at the beginning of this article from Variety. Now, I'm not going to sit and read a long article, guys. You can check the video out. I give you almost all of it in there, so folks don't have to read. You can drive and be safe and listen to the dulcet tones of world-class bullshitters entertain you. But, Dion, you read the article, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
You and I have been hardcore Marvel fans our whole lives. We grew up watching the cartoons, reading the comic books, playing with the toys. In college, when we first met, we were pumped freshman year. Iron Man looked like the greatest movie ever made, and it was damn good. The summer of 2008 may have been owned by The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's Joker, but Iron Man is, like, to me, the real success story of that summer, because The Dark Knight's great. It made its money. It's a wonderful film. It's all the things that everyone says. But I would rather watch Iron Man, because Iron Man is much more fun. And I prefer Marvel characters over the DC stuff. And so you and I have always been on this journey in the MCU. What's next? Where are we going? When do tickets go on sale? And then, 2019 happens, and we kind of all hit that invisible wall where we don't give a shit. But the press, the writers out there online, the ardent defenders of Disney, the shills, as some would call them, they want to always back Disney. They always want to back Marvel. They always want to blame us, the fans, or the worst ones. But now this new Variety article kind of lays it out that across the board, they're fucked, as they say in the article themselves. And even at the top, they're aware of the problems. So I'm going to go around and ask everyone just briefly, what was your initial thought of the article? So Dion, since you were on the first episode along with me, what were your thoughts of this article, briefly?
Briefly, it was incredibly freaking interesting, and it's very interesting to see, a publication with a name like Variety, at least bringing it into the conversation. That hey, the direction that it is currently taking across its properties and the quality of the current product, it ain't doing as great. And to see that perspective, I thought was incredibly interesting.
Nick, what about you?
I was surprised Variety did like a really long, I guess, hit piece on Disney and just kind of like laid it out. I guess Disney couldn't pay him off anymore, and they just did like this 2 to 3 page thing about like how they screwed up and how they're trying to right the ship and how they don't know what they're doing, and like the higher ups are just scrambling and stuff. It was fun to read that that they don't know what they're doing and they have no idea how to right the ship, even though it's really obvious.
Kendo.
Well, first I started laughing because that's pretty much everything that we've been saying. And then I was like, turns out we were right. And then I distinctly remember back a few years ago when Endgame happened, and the questions were being bandied around on the channel of where do they go from here? Where do they go from here? And myself, the exalted one, pointed out that if they want to be successful, they need to have another big baddie to go after, somebody that lots of people know that they can rally around and say, this is who I want to see have stuff happen to them, and somebody really good. And I think I brought up Dr. Doom, and said that's where they should go. That's where they should go. That's where they should go. They didn't go that way. And in the article, they even mentioned that's the direction they should have went in. I'm just like, maybe they should have listened to our channel.
Kendo called it.
Yeah, I called it. Just like I predicted James Bond was going to die. And a bunch of, and I predicted that What Are Those Girls was going to take over the Black Panther mantle. I am a fucking clairvoyant. Although I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, nor do I even know what I want to have for breakfast.
You're a regular Nostradamus.
Yes.
Sometimes. What makes me sad is we have a clairvoyant that frequents the WCBS channel, and we haven't heard from him in a while. How's our pal Mr. Cleo doing?
Count me now. We find ourselves now with a young property wanting to know the future. Yeah, because you're a Libra, aren't you, darling? Let me go ahead and bring out the cards. Why? Because the cards don't lie, man. No, they don't. Let me see here. Ooh. That's a tough one, darling. That's a tough one. Not only are you a Libra, darling, you're a Libra, but I get here the the rainbow kiss of death. You're definitely a Libra, darling.
I'm gonna mercy.
Mr. Cleo for entertainment purposes only.
No, we'll take money from people for his predictions.
Mr. Cleo, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? This coming year?
It'll be the Cleveland Browns. We'll pull it off.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't take money for his predictions.
Here is the brown bulldog covered in shit. Tough card for the Libras out there, darling. Yeah, but don't worry, the cards don't lie. I'm gonna mercy.
I think Kendo was hoping to hear the Chiefs, but
The way our offense has been sputtering, we'll be lucky to win the division at this rate.
Was it 5 turnovers, you said?
5 fucking turnovers. You can't win at any level turning the ball over 5 fucking times. Or sputtering out in the red zone and having to settle for field goals. That is not how games are won. And the fact that the defense is really good this year, and I can't fucking scream at Steve Spagnuolo and call him a retard, that is my universe is got some problems right now. But luckily, the division we play in is a fucking trash heap this year, so we should be okay. We'll get in the playoffs, and we'll probably revert to our old-fashioned ways of losing in the first round.
Well, we'll find out what happens, Mr. Cleo. You might be right. You might be right. Drew, what were your thoughts of this scathing Marvel article from Variety?
So when I read this initially this morning, this woke me up reading this article. I was like, holy crap. It was literally blow after blow after blow in every single paragraph. I couldn't believe just how much they weren't holding back. And how the hell do you fuck these ideas up? Oh yeah, you make a Blade script where he's the 4th character behind 4 female characters in his own film. I mean, there's no way an article like this would have been written back in 2020. It's amazing how fast things have changed now. And but now, like what South Park did, there is blood in the water. But I want to see the spinning Marvel is going to do, along with Kevin Feige, to do as a retort to this article, because it's coming. I'm just waiting to see who's going to be the shill to defend Marvel. Like, no, things are better than ever.
As Captain Marvel cost $250 million to make and makes like $350, like that's not going to be a good week for them next week. They can't inflate the numbers. People aren't going to buy into the bullshit this time.
No, she's not Barbie.
No, she's not Barbie. They want to make her out to be every girl's favorite like Barbie, but no. Captain Marvel. I almost called her Karen. She's unlikable as shit, dude.
Captain Karen.
I think you're right. I think it's Karen. I think Karen Marvel is the proper
Karen Marvel. That's even better. Oh my god. That fucking
Yeah, I think
Karen
that's,
Marvel.
that's what she was called back in. I think when World War II came out, people were calling her because of her haircut, Captain Karen.
It was, dude, when she showed up in Infinity or Endgame, I just rolled my eyes, and then she was gone, and that was great. And then she got punched out of the movie, and that was even better.
Yeah, it was just
Best
like
scene of
Falcon
the film.
Punch right out.
Yeah, best scene of the film.
I love the
You
meme
guys-
that went around where she's like, "Hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me?" And then it shows a sink full of dishes.
Oh my god.
The internet is brutal.
but honest at times.
Yes. Yeah, I saw this when I read this article. My conspiracy mind kicked in, and I thought, this is something that wouldn't have been written even like a year ago. No one would have dared to do this. And then I thought, what happened this weekend? And what did they know was coming for a while? They knew that the South Park episode was coming. And I'm sure that somehow it's possible that Kathleen Kennedy got advance word that she was going to be the focus of it. And I thought, what if this person who now we know from Gina Carano, the fact that she pays attention to all these things and she's really thin-skinned about these things, and she has an army of people that she sends out to kind of do spin. What if she decided that, this is when this article needed to drop. I need to reach out to people that are friendly to me in the media and make sure they attack Kevin Feige and take the heat off of me. That's just where my mind immediately went. And I don't have any evidence to back that up, but I just think it's an interesting thing to think about.
I think it's a wonderful, theory to put out there. Hell, I might even further explore it myself because I want to think about it more. But, like we said a minute ago, Xerxes bleeds now. And so people just know, they're not invincible. You can take these things down. And I find it very interesting how it just keeps coming and coming and coming. Honestly, next week is not going to be a good week for them because they're going to have their hit pieces come out. Oh, the sexist trolls are at it again. You know what it's going to be is it's going to be crickets at most movie theaters across America. You're going to just be like, oh yeah, 9 people showed up to see Captain Marvel out of a 250-seat auditorium. They love it. Catwomen agree that Captain Marvel's the greatest superhero of this generation. It's like, nobody gives a shit, really.
Scott Middleton is writing that right now. I guarantee it.
Yes,
Oh my
he is.
God.
How do sexist trolls stop people from going to the theater? Like, I can understand, if you say, hey, obviously there was some review bombing, or, you can kind of make those cases and you can make people believe that. But how do we stop people? How do we always sexist trolls that say that this movie looks bad? How do we keep people out of the cinema if she's
just
so
do.
popular?
That's all
And
it
how
is.
do
You
these-
just
That's
do
exactly what
reasons.
we've been saying for years in this channel, right? Like you can't have it both ways. And again, to your point about Kathleen Kennedy being thin-skinned, it's not just that. They realize that, hey, we're gonna come off as this company that feels a certain way, but we're gonna manipulate as much media as we can for the branding, right? And sure enough, shit ended up in a South Park episode. But you can't be, they tried it with Star Wars, they tried it with Captain Marvel. You can't say that they're chasing people away if you keep holding on to the fact that it made $1 billion. So it didn't chase people away. Well, no, but so you can't have it both ways. That was an argument that they were pushing that never made sense. That shit never made any sense.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like the accountability issue in society nowadays. They can't hold themselves accountable and say, "Oh, well, we fucked up, we made something bad or whatever." It's like, "Well, we didn't do anything wrong. We are on the side of the good and the just. What did they do to make this a problem for us? Not what did we do, what did they do? Who can we blame for why this didn't work?"
It's like asking Ryan Johnson, when they asked him, is there anything on the film that you think maybe you could have done differently or done better? And he's like, no, just immediately no. And I can't even imagine that with any creative endeavor. If you ask me about anything that I've ever worked on, and you said, looking back on it, is there something that you can do better? There's always a yes. Yeah, I could have tweaked this. I could have done that. Could have, because I will tinker with something up until the point that it releases, until the last minute when, I have to let it go. There comes a point where you have to put it out there. But as a creative person who isn't a complete psychopath, yeah, there's always something that you could have done better in hindsight.
Well, when you've got a Saturn ward that you've rigged up with a vibration device shoved up your ass, you don't really have to worry about the opinions of other people.
Oh God, I'm pretty sure he mounts that thing nightly.
It never leaves him, Nick.
It never leaves.
Yeah, it's like those light up
It's
butt
always in
plugs
there.
that you see all over the thing, on the internet. He wears it all the time.
Oh my God.
He's like on South Park. He shits out his mouth, so he doesn't need the back entrance. Or anything else. It's Saturn ward just goes
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
That makes sense.
Now, Aurelio, did you have a chance to read the article?
What? I'm sorry, I've lost the message, the question.
Oh, did you have a chance to check out the Marvel article that was published in Variety magazine?
Actually, I'm just reading Hulk to stay regarding Mark Ruffalo stuff. No, is the only story arc I'm following since Immortal Hulk. I was for almost all my life a Spider-Man fan, but unfortunately I am unable to continue read it. But I think sometimes I think it's my problem. Maybe I'm too old now to continue following relaunch. Every month a new number one, a restart. So I'm really liking the Incredible Hulk. Actually, this kind of horror atmosphere, especially on the last story arc from there's a Nick Klein. There's something remind me Bernie Wrightson stuff.
Ooh, I love his art.
Yeah, is the only things from Marvel that I'm actually reading. Sometimes I buy some trade paperback with some 19th story arc. For example, one of my favorite is Return of Sinister Six from Mary Clarkson, or the Craven Last Stand. But but recently I'm most focused on independent comic book stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're definitely not getting too old for Spider-Man. There's a lot of people that are just not buying Marvel comics anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Actually, if I can be totally honest, something that catch me a little bit more interest is this Ultimate Spider-Man relaunch, because we returned to Peter as a grown up, as a family man. But really, to be honest, I don't know if if I'm still interested to read it. Maybe I could be interested to draw it, but not to continue to read it, honestly. But because I think it's a my problem. Maybe I am old, like
No,
Mortal.
you're not.
I'm old for this shit.
You're not the only one. Trust me. A lot of people aren't probably going to be reading that stuff, but people will be checking out the Ultimate Spider-Man, the new issue coming out, the new series, because it's a new twist.
Read it online.
Yep, there you go.
Also, especially because there's Marco Cacchetto's artworks that is awesome. I know him is an Italian artist and is very good. But something that catch me the attention is see again Peter. He's an husband and especially a father. I'm much focusing on this, but I really don't know if I'll continue to read it. Actually, with the Hulk. I'm reading a lot. I'm reading Scorched and Spawn. I never leave the Spawn. Always a big Spawn fan and Todd McFarlane fan. I'm really loving the Scorched and the Gunslinger Spawn.
Sounds like you, Dion. You love your Spawn.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, in terms of our Marvel stuff, one thing I found interesting, you had mentioned it, I think it was either Drew or Aaron, you talked about the Blade and what they wanted to do with Blade. Did you notice how Blade's budget is now under $100 million, but Captain Marvel is 250? And I just kind of had a chuckle because I'm thinking, they want to do all of these, they want to make all these movies about telling these unique, diverse stories, but they don't give them the same budget. It's like Captain Karen gets $250 million to try to make that sinking ship seem interesting. But Blade, the thing a lot of people would want to go see, you don't get $100 million. We got to do this one on the cheap. I kind of chuckled at that one.
It's the
I think
message.
it's not. Sometimes it's not. I've read today about Blade new movie, but it looks like the problem was the script and the fact that Blade basically wasn't involved into the movie. My idea is that they wanted focusing on Blade daughter. It's just a supposition. I may suppose.
Which nobody wants any of these characters that aren't the lead characters. It's like you're going to put the brand named character in the title, you're going to put them in the trailer, and then you get it and you're like, wait, what? Like, how disappointing is it? Like, when you watch a show and you're like, your favorite character is just not there.
Yeah.
And so Marvel recently did a Blade's Daughter series, and guess what? No one read it, no one bought it, and people forgot about it. So there you go.
Shocking! I can't believe that.
Well, the thing that was great about that Blade's Daughter series was that it was really about the relationship with the writer had with their mother. They actually put a conversation that they had with their mother in a diner in the book, with Blade's daughter being their self-insert. So it's always the most fascinating thing in the world when the comics that you're reading, the superhero comics where you're going and looking for cool action and heroic activity and you galactic armadas invading and just balls to the wall kind of adventure. It's always great when you get to read about some boring self-insert character, like somebody works out their mommy issues and expects you to pay $5 for it.
Yeah, no, thank you, folks. When you buy Wokebusters or Stealing Solo, you're not going to get self-insert characters where we're bitching about our personal issues. We're going to give you fun, entertaining stories that feature us. But that's a different topic for another day.
Well, the thing that I love about Stealing Solo is you guys seem to have the same philosophy about putting yourself in a book as I do. So I did an issue of Darkwing, and where we went to the characters went to a comic convention, and our contact at Disney was like, this would be a really good opportunity for you and James to put yourselves in the book. And my philosophy was, if I'm going to put myself in the book, we're going to humiliate ourselves. We're going to be self-deprecating. We're going to be oafs. And that's the way that we did it, and that's, I think, kind of like people of our age. And we kind of understand that, we're not all that, we don't have it all together. We're as flawed as anybody else. So if you're going to ask me to put myself in a book, I'm going to make fun of myself. Like I make fun of it. I'm not going to take myself seriously because I'm inherently not taking anything else seriously. And that's what I kind of love about Stealing Solo. There's the one panel that always comes up where Jeff, I think it's you in the Chewbacca suit and Harrison Ford telling you like, you look like a dick. and you're like, I know.
I had so much fun with that. It was weird, like drawing myself next to Harrison Ford. I'm like, this is cool. This is also really funny to me. I just, like I've said before, the idea came from a joke here on the show, and we just ran with it. That's where our best ideas come from, guys. We just have a joke, we keep on going. Maybe we'll turn something into Mark Ruffalo and do a book in the future. Who knows?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Only if he pays us.
You might. You'll be like, you know what, guys? Truce. I'll be in your film if you stop making fun of me.
No deal. No deal.
Cool, Mark. It'll cost you $5 million.
Shit, we might be able to make $5 million off of a Mark Ruffalo crossover, so we'll go for it. We don't know, but we're businessmen, so we'll do whatever we need. But a lot of people keep talking about how they're going to do the old school Avengers and they're going to bring them back. Now, I'm like a lot of people where I think that sounds kind of desperate, even though I enjoy those old movies. the natural progression of their story arc is over. They're dead. Some of them, Iron Man and Black Widow are both dead. I don't think they need to come back, but for some reason, they're that desperate. And you could have had other superheroes fill the lead, but you put such a finality to your last movies that people are just like, yeah, there's nowhere else to go. So now through the multiverse, they're going to bring them back. But if we talk about these movies not making a lot of money and the budgets are astronomical, think of how much money it's going to cost to make this movie with Robert Downey Jr. in it. That's probably $75 million that they got to pay to him. Scarlett Johansson's going to get $20 million. Chris Hemsworth's going to get a couple mil. Like, those movies aren't cheap to make, but they made so much money. Marvel doesn't want to spend the money to make the money anymore, but they're kind of forced. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is, do you think it'll work? Do you think people will buy into this? Oh man, Robert Downey Jr. is back. I'm going to go see this movie right away.
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe it's been long enough, because by the time that happens, it'll be 10 years out and there'll be nostalgia for them.
Yeah. Maybe.
I would rather go see him come back than pretty much anything they can give me. Like, they're not going to give us 90s X-Men on film. They're not going to give us 80s X-Men on film, or even 70s X-Men on film.
No,
they're going to give us some backworld, stupid version of the X-Men that nobody wants to watch.
Yeah, we're getting the Island of Krakoa. We're getting the Island of Krakoa, communist, socialist, segregationist, pod people X-Men in the movies. That's what we're getting.
That's what I grew up with, and that's what I love.
Yeah, where every character has a different sexuality from everybody else, and you get to hear about it ad nauseum, and they just mill about on an island, apologizing to each other for microaggressions.
I know you're not joking.
I'm not. That's the sad thing, is I'm not even being hyperbolic. That's literally what the X-Men is now.
Yeah, I know I'm crazy. I miss when the X-Men, had to be whisked off to outer space and pay for Jean Grey had to pay for her crimes against the galaxy for blowing up an entire solar system, and they had to fight to save Jean, and then they couldn't. Screw me for liking classic stories where the heroes do stuff heroically, or here's the weird part: is X-Men has always been about social issues and allegory and all that stuff, but they lost the ability to do that so long ago. I mean, God Loves, Man Kills is a great X-Men story.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel can't make that today. Not because they don't have they're not allowed to. They don't allow the people to be that creative. They'll give you some bullshit like you're talking about, where they're all on an island talking about fucking each other, but they'll never get to a bigger issue because they think these weird issues that these writers are so focused on are real issues that most people care about. But we don't really care about their self-insert for their mother issues. Like, hey, go to therapy and stop fucking putting it in my comic book. Like, don't give me this dumb shit. And so I'm expecting, the impending advent of X-Men on film to be kind of a stinker, a wet blanket. You'll get your initial hype, and then people will watch the movie and go, oh, wow, that was that. So I don't think X-Men is going to save them, nor do I think Fantastic Four has enough brand power to actually save Marvel.
No, and I don't think that putting Kelsey Grammer in a post-credit scene, which reportedly was originally the Young Avengers. Oh yeah, when I see Ironheart and Kate Bishop and America Chavez all standing together, oh, it's going to be just like when the Avengers came together. Do you remember when Kevin Feige said that about seeing the Marvels together on screen for the first time? Was like that first shot of all the Avengers together, and I was like, in what universe? Like, are you out of your mind? Do you actually think that anybody is going to think that, is going to buy that? It's
the universe America Chavez came from in the Multiverse of Madness. That's the one. That's the movie in that universe that everyone's gonna be watching and loving.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
Character that got scared by a bumblebee and killed her moms.
Yep.
Wait, they crossed over with the Transformers movie?
Yep. It was awesome. No one talks about it, but it was an underrated crossover.
That's crazy.
They copied the movie My Girl. Is that what happened?
People were too excited. When it came to the crossover, people were really more excited about the fact that the memory store. They thought that was such a great story device, where to get across some exposition, you're walking down the sidewalk and you step on one of the panels, and it gives you a free memory that it broadcasts up so that it can deliver plot specific information. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, what if Doctor Strange just happened to be thinking about how much he had to take a shit? And that gets put up on the screen, for everybody to see, is him just imagining how great this shit is going to be. It's God, everything they do is awful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Any other takeaways from the Marvel article? Because there was a lot to unpack. I mean, the Blade stuff is one thing. You got the box office of Captain Marvel, the prediction that it's going to open to $75 million or less. Like, there is not a lot of positivity in that article. And I'm just like you said, Drew, at the opening of this segment, you were surprised how honest and how scathing they were with a lot of this.
Yeah, like I said, paragraph after paragraph. It wasn't just like the first one. It's like, I'm like, holy shit, they are digging in every damn paragraph on Marvel. People, it honestly, you do not expect a magazine or a publication like Variety to go after a studio like that, and they did big time. And if Variety is going to do that, it's like, who is next? Who's going to go after them next? Because Variety is the biggest, one of the bigger, if not the biggest, publication magazine in Hollywood. But we'll see who does it next.
It's just great to see all these to see Variety come over to the alt-right with all of us YouTubers who've been pointing this out.
Oh my god! Yeah.
The only thing I couldn't believe was like the reader. I was reading the reader comments below the article, and the amount of simping in the comments. I'm like, you guys are just playing the goo goo gaga bullshit. Like, oh, what is woke? What do you mean by that? How is Blade woke? It's like, fuck off, you asshole. You're purposely being an asshole. You just get
well, now we know that most of those are employees.
Yep.
Yeah. And their fucking clown shoes.
Yeah, I'm reading those comments right now. I had read them earlier when they were less, but now I'm hey, I see one from Dion.
Really? What does it say? What does it say?
Let's put it on screen. Hold on, it's hilarious. I see the words peaches and cream.
Oh my god.
Dion Green says, such a hit that it erases other failures. At some point, you have to admit it all isn't peaches and cream.
I'm fairly certain that's our Dion Green, because that's how he would say things.
Yeah, that's true.
There he is.
Yeah, buddy.
Dion.
Like
we're just supposed to be at work. God damn it! What the hell, man? What are you doing?
He posted at 5:42. He was off the clock.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man. I can't help myself.
You shouldn't help yourself. I'd like to see more of our audience show up in these articles and post comments. I want your
again.
opinion.
The fact that it's Variety too, right? It's not just who's going to come after them next. I think it was Drew that brought it up, but it isn't just what happened last week. It's what's going to happen next week. This comes out after all the eggs that's been put in all the baskets for them to try to save face for for the Marvels rather. When that movie flops, that's going to be the interesting thing. Because if Variety's going to take shots and the movie flops, that's another failure this year alone. And that's when you look back on the last phase of Marvel. What's going to happen after all this shit, after, trying to rehash, who knows how much money they spent on that. But after they clearly were trying to rehash Brie Larson's image with her YouTube channel. After all that shit and the Marvels doesn't do well, how do you spin that? Getting rid of the dislike button on YouTube isn't going to explain that away.
And what do you do when you have this interconnected universe and you have to complete it somehow? Even if you decide that our best option is to reboot because our movies aren't making money anymore and we need to like rethink this and start over, you've still got to churn out a good 5 movies at least to end this, to end this story, to make it complete. So you're locked in for a bunch of potential financial disasters. That's the big double-edged sword of the continuing shared universe.
Oh my God.
Yep, and you cannot back out because you made it a big deal that we're beating the trolls. We've got Samuel Jackson using the word incel. We have
forgot about that.
members of our fan bases talking in buzzwords in comment sections. You know what I'm saying? You can't just you can't just end it because all the preaching, all that shit of getting people riled up on Esquire, they're gonna be like, wait, whoa. Why are you canceling it? You can't do that. So, you're right, man. They can't just back out of this shit. You have to make 4 or 5 more. You have to finish. You made the whole phase thing part of the discussion. You have to finish this phase. So, yeah, man, it's damn. Yeah, forget about last week. It's like I said, you lost control of using the internet. You talked a lot of shit. You had a lot of fake people that you hire talk a lot of shit. So, yeah, it's gonna, and it's actually pretty funny that it is on my birthday. But if that movie flops, it's another one of those that flopped. You can't blame the incels and stuff again because again they're all wrong, right?
They can blame Variety. They can blame Variety. That's who they're going to go. They shouldn't have done that. It's because of them that the movie failed.
But it's you can't even at that point you can't use Variety to explain away the pre-sale numbers because Variety came out the week before.
Well, COVID / economic headwinds. There was a storm in Missouri, central Missouri, that kept people away from the theater. These are all reasons that the movie only made $55 million.
But hey, no, you were saying that the fans are what make it. Are you saying the fans didn't show up? Are you saying the fans didn't show up, Marvel? You can't use all that shit.
Well, apparently, according to them, there are large swaths of incels in the U.S. and they all know how to communicate very well and not see movies and not give their money away. I guess I don't know.
Apparently, you can't say that either because the dislike button is gone, and you filter certain words out of stuff. I mean, so it can't be the organized incels, right? They can't community guidelines and shit, right? So it can't be them. We're not seeing them. They don't. We're beating them, right? Uh-oh. It's gonna
that's the scary part. Is like the more you say that it's just toxic fandom. It's just these incels. How much power are you willing to give us? How much power are you willing to cede? We're beating Hollywood, but we're insignificant, but we're killing you.
And that was a big plot point in the end episode of She-Hulk, and I was hoping Variety would have brought that crap up and how the showrunner was pretty much throwing Kevin Feige under the bus. Either you put this or I'm walking. They didn't really go as hard in the paint on She-Hulk as I thought they were going to go, but they've done that and they're really go.
Well, I understand why they didn't go hard in the paint on She-Hulk. It's because nobody remembers that show exists.
Exactly.
I'm guilty of that.
Very fair point.
Exactly. It's not.
They made a show of She-Hulk?
You can't pull it up.
Yeah, bad CGI is in the article.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, also one thing that was really weird in the article that I read is that they don't let they don't do test screenings. So what happens is they let people from Disney, like the internal company, watch it, and I think that's their big fucking problem. They're letting just like the people who work for them watch it and be like and give them a rating. It's like, oh yeah, A+, 10 out of 10, great. Nobody wants to get fired. Nobody wants to be that person.
Can you guys go back to your Doctor Strange movie and just that one scene where he tells Wong, I people used to think I was funny, and Wong says, "Did they work for you?" That scene describes your whole problem with doing internal screenings, Disney. Oh, it's a 10 out of 10? Did they work for you?
Yeah. And I think, and in the article it said, they did an outside screening in Texas or something, and it was like middling reviews, what they said. And it's like, there exactly is your fucking problem. Take the time, take the risk, and do actual test screenings. Actually do that. And you will learn far more than your 20-year-old, fresh out of college marketing kids. Okay? You learn way
Or
more.
since we YouTubers have so much power to destroy your movie's box office, maybe start listening to us. Maybe that's free marketing. Maybe that's free market research.
Better yet, start paying us for our fucking opinions.
There you go.
Yeah, they can pay me to review their films. I'll give them the same review score, but I'll take a couple $1,000 from Disney.
At least they'll know they'll be getting an honest opinion and won't just be getting somebody who's lying to them because my paycheck is dependent upon them.
Yeah, we're not Collider, folks. We're not Collider.
Thank God for that.
I wasn't a Star Wars fan for 5 years, and they kept me out of Galaxy's Edge. Fuck, man, that was the saddest thing I've ever seen on the internet.
That was really fucking sad and really pathetic, but it's also like kind of accurate.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what that guy's waiting these days, but I don't want to watch him.
No, I'm waiting for Disney to. I'm waiting for Disney to use Kevin Smith as like their nerdy guy to talk to other nerdy people and be like, "Hey, everything's cool. Come back. It's all right now."
Nick,
well, once Kevin Smith sees something that moves him to tears, then I'll know that it's good.
Oh dear God,
he's gonna cry in the Marvels over the cat.
Well, to be fair, we did give him a heart attack.
She-Ra.
We did.
Persona non grata right now.
Oh, Dion. When I was out filming the newest toy video, I saw all these He-Man figures from the new Netflix series, and I'm like, I wonder how they got the ollies. I wonder why audiences didn't eat these ones up.
Yep.
God, I fucking love the way that went. Well, I think it was. I don't think it was that show, or maybe it was another Netflix show where like people were really like Twitter went crazy about it for diversity or some shit, and then nobody watched it, and then it got canceled. They're like, "Why are you canceling it?" It's like nobody's watching it. You guys will rant and rave on Twitter and do fucking hashtags, but actually watching it for more than 30 seconds like you do your fucking TikToks. No, we're not doing that. It's like, all right, kids, go back.
Well, that was the case with She-Ra too. The She-Ra autistic lesbian reboot.
Yeah, that's what it was. She-Ra. Yeah, they got mad because it was canceled for 2 seasons. Like nobody's watching it.
And the only reason it was 2 seasons is because the way Netflix does their shows is they produce them all at once and then they chop them up to have more than one season. So they were all crowing that like it's getting a second season, and it's like, yeah, that they're going to show you the episodes they've already completed as part of the single order that they put in for this show. And then the Mattel supported it with some dolls, and those dolls went clearance very quickly. And actually I picked some up because I knew that they were going to get really expensive because they had a low production run, and I sold them off when the market jumped up on them. But overall, they failed at retail, and if you can't move merch, that is a solid indicator of how people feel about your franchise and what you're doing.
Yeah, and they're lowering production of Marvel over at Hasbro by 30%. We were talking about that a little bit over on the Articulated Chad channel last night. And we've been saying that for years, that merchandising is the indicator of success. Oh, but Jeff, The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker were billion-dollar pictures. But nobody liked Star Wars after they came out, and those toys couldn't sell to save their lives. The real money is made in the merchandise. That's why Spaceballs parodies it. That's why George Lucas is a billionaire, because of every Star Wars figure he sold, every toothbrush, every set of pajamas, every bedsheet set, every Darth Vader lightsaber, like you name it, he got a cut. And that's where it is. You can go see a movie 5 times. That's great. But remember, half of that shit goes to the theater, and that's what matters. If you want to keep these things alive, I'm sure there are movies out there that aren't that successful, but their merchandise sells a bunch, so they probably make shit just because they know they can move another $50 million in merchandise on top of a middling box office. But when it's the inverse of, well, the movie made money, but nobody bought anything from it, these movies go away quickly. The only way you can, remember that these movies even happened with the sequel trilogy is like watching videos online about how they sucked, because nobody talks about those movies. Like, when people talk about Star Wars, they're still talking about the old ones. Some people will bring up the prequels. Nobody goes, remember that great Star Wars classic, The Rise of Skywalker? No, you don't, because no one gave
not yet.
5 years.
Give it 20 years, they will.
When am I going to? No, it's not going to happen for that. There's not going to be a prequel situation for this where people are nostalgic for them, and that is based on the merch. Like, even as much as people maligned the prequels and they weren't very good movies and they weren't very well written, the merch sold. people were still interested in the property. They were still interested in the story. You know, you could still sell clone troopers for days. You could still sell Anakin figures. You know, any figure of Anakin where he is in the Revenge of the Sith outfit with the and you know, comes with the extra head with the Sith eyes. Any one of those figures always still sells out. But you know who doesn't sell out anymore? Luke. And Luke in his Jedi outfit used to sell out all the time. And now he's just not as popular. Boba Fett used to sell out all the time. He's not as popular because Disney killed it for a lot of people. So a lot of people who normally would be like, well, I collect every Boba Fett, I collect every Luke Skywalker. They don't do it anymore. They're done. You've checked them out even on the stuff that you had that was evergreen. You murdered it.
Yeah.
You know, Aaron, I finally picked up the old man Han Solo from The Force Awakens. You know why?
Because it was at Ollie's?
No, it was even cheaper. If you go to Ross Dress for Less, the Ollie's figures are $10. At Ross Dress for Less, they're $5.99. So I was like, for $5.99, I think I can finally justify buying this thing at 75% off its initial price.
Yeah, I picked up Leia. I picked up Leia in the ceremonial dress for $4.99 at Ross. So those, yeah, for some reason that one was $1 less on the archives. But I have seen the Solo ones there.
I was on my way out of the store buying some Liquid Death, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's throw Han Solo on this order. I don't even know where I put him. I think he's still in the bag somewhere.
Well, the nice thing is when you make the Jeff Hicks in Chewbacca costume figure, you know, your custom figure of yourself, you can recreate that little scene where he calls you a dick.
I can. What I need to do is I either need to buy an Andre the Giant action figure, or, well, who else would be a good stand-in for me, guys?
I mean, you know that I make 3D printed heads for custom action figures, right? Like we can work something out
now. Okay.
Yeah. Just go get your head scanned, Jeff. Go get your head scanned.
I don't even need that. We can do it off your artwork.
You know what we need to do is can you do any style action figure? Or does it have to be like specific to Hasbro modern stuff?
No, I mean it can be printed and sized for pretty much any figure. So even if you were like, yeah, I've got a 12-inch figure, I want to put the head on. We can size it up for that.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's make that happen with the guys. I have these extra set of Ghostbusters figures I bought. We'll turn them into Wokebusters, and maybe I'll mail them to you guys.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm in.
But yeah, talking about like, you know, toys and things like that, and actually toys that sell. I mean, look at the Ghostbusters HasLab stuff. They
2
had
days.
2 days. 10. Yeah, it reached its goal of 10,000 backers. Done.
Look how long Giant Man took. It was like down to the wire for Hasbro to fund Giant Man, and they missed the Engine of Vengeance with Ghost Rider. That one didn't fund, and you know we know how you guys have documented how many Star Wars ones haven't funded.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Did you pick up Ant-Man or Giant Man?
I did order it. Yeah, I'm a sucker like that. But you know I like it's based on the comic stuff. If it was something based on the movies, I wouldn't get it. But I'm a sucker for the comic stuff still, because I still have fond memories. And since I was able to bow out of the comics before they reached their current state, none of that has been ruined for me.
I love the Star Wars Black Series Reva, the third sister, Force FX Elite lightsaber. Target 5,000. Backers 1,413.
Well, I keep seeing, so in your videos, I think you've mentioned that you haven't seen Reva at Ollie's. And I know Clownfish TV did some videos at Ollie's, and they're saying like, yeah, I'm surprised that Reva's not here. She's coming. That assortment hasn't hit yet, but trust me, you're going to be seeing Reva on those shelves for a long time.
Oh man.
That was you guys.
Oh, Jeff's gone.
Oh my God, he dropped.
We're good.
Shit.
A
The
moment
facilitator of the discussion is on.
A moment of silence for Reva at retail.
No, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I got for a second. I got a little too quiet. I was like, what's going on?
listen, you know.
Yeah, I was waiting for
Oh
Jeff.
my God, he's
to
there.
have
Okay.
something to say. He just disappeared. It's like, what's going on?
Kathy Kennedy got him, man.
She did. She's gonna get me. She
Mark.
I left so hard.
Talk
Mark
about
ran
Reba.
down the street screaming, "She's gonna get me." She's like the boogeyman.
She's under your bed, man. There's Disney executives under your bed.
Man, they would hate it because I'd be like, all right, you guys are chilling in my bed. You're going to listen to me talk for 6 hours why you guys suck. They won't scare me. I'll scare them.
And then,
Dude, I'll just turn on my microphone and do a live stream with them.
And then I'm going to go get Taco Bell and fart the whole night. Enjoy.
Oh, dude, we'll do Chipotle. We'll murder them. Yeah, Chipotle still. Wow, shit, they just closed. I guess it'll have to be Taco Bell tonight.
See, you're be violating the Geneva Convention.
That's okay. I think they've violated the Geneva Convention with those Star Wars movies, so the universe is kind of like, yeah, Jeff, you owe him one.
Yeah,
watching those last two were like being waterboarded.
That last one where they kept changing things every 15 minutes. Like, you said this thing, then you're countering it and doing this thing. Like, what are you doing? What the hell?
You got to get the thing to find the other thing that finds the thing that shows you where to stand to look at the other thing.
God. And I love how they CG'd like Carrie Fisher's training in the third one. It's like, why couldn't you do this in the last one, or the first one? Like, come on, man. Jeez.
Well, be respectful to her. I don't even know what that means.
Whatever.
But it was about family, and that's what made it so powerful.
He said it. He said it.
Oh my God! I was about to say, man, somebody said family on this channel. You know what happens when we say family, right?
I don't have friends. I got family.
Amazing.
And I'm going to say to this, how is there an all tie-in with a Fast and Furious and Vin Diesel? Because you'd hear we're family. Not a thing yet. I don't get it.
You beep booped out. Say that again.
Oh, is there not an Olive Garden tie-in yet with Fast?
Oh, when you're here, you're
Diesel. Yeah.
That needs to happen. I need that now in my life. Just him there, squinting into the camera. Olive Garden, when you're here, your family.
I think we know our first skit we need to make, guys. I'll put on a bald cap and play Vin Diesel.
Yep. Oh, God.
Just please have some Street Sharks on the table, just for nostalgia's sake.
Unlimited
I'll do
breadsticks. We're here.
breakdancing in the background.
Your family. How much cheese do you want? Family. That's all I ask.
Is that more? Family. Here's my favorite family button.
But what's real is family.
God, I still didn't watch the 10th one of those. I turned off the 9th one. I've given up on Fast and Furious.
No, they're
fucking
fucking terrible.
I haven't watched any of them. I'm winning.
I knew that when they
one?
Not one of them.
No,
Not even by accident.
Nope, never watched a single Fast and Furious movie.
Just Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw is actually really funny.
I knew 10 was in trouble when they didn't go with it was right there, but just the tagline should have been "Fast 10 your seatbelts," and they just didn't. They didn't do it. I was like, it's right there. How do you guys not do that?
Oh my God!
Blame Vin Diesel. He has way more control of these movies than you realize.
That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, they should make 2 more Hobbs and Shaws. I'd watch those. That last one was fucking hilarious, man. Oh my God, I love it.
Vin Diesel probably won't let him. It's like, look, man, he's not in that one. He's pissed off. He's like, The Rock doesn't deserve his own movie. I love how they have beef. It's
Rock
like,
isn't family.
Well, The Rock's kind of shot himself in the foot career-wise with some of the things he's first of all coming out and getting political and endorsing a political candidate. Never should have done that. And then this whole Maui scam with Oprah. Not lighting the world on fire with your PR, Rock.
it was already on fire, Rock. You don't need to do any more damage.
No, that was dumb. That was so dumb.
Yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan, and The Rock's my favorite wrestler. But like, dude, I can name his movies, and I can guess what they're about because they're all kind of the same story. But I couldn't tell you any of the characters he plays. It's Hobbs is the one from Fast and Furious, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Scorpion King is the title character, and Black Adam is the title character. I don't know who he plays in San Andreas. He plays a helicopter pilot.
He plays yoked out guy number 5.
Yep, guy number 5.
You know what's sad about The Rock? The most character development he has in any movie is the movie where he has a fake leg. That's about it. Other than that, it's the same
Die Hard ripoff.
The Die Hard ripoff, yeah.
Die Hard with peg leg.
Actually, you're right. Holy shit, yeah, that's true. Oh my god.
And then he got shit for that, for not actually having, a prosthetic leg. And I'm like, what? You want this movie to be successful. You're trying to cast somebody that you think people want to pay money to go see. Does he have to cut his leg off to make you Twitter weirdos happy?
It's called method acting.
I mean, Jared Leto would have done it.
Yeah, Jared Leto would have cut his fucking leg off for the movie.
It's Morbin time. Hire his punk ass.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo will do it. He'll think it'll grow back, but Mark.
Don't tell him it won't. Don't tell him it won't.
Him and Homer Simpson. Love it. Yeah.
He'll
grow back, right? Yeah.
I was thinking of it Monty Python and the Meaning of Life when I think Eric Idle's been attacked by a tiger and they're all just real chills. Like, yeah, it's fine, no big deal. It'll grow back, right? Right? Nope.
The movie's called Skyscraper. Oh god, that was such shit.
And in it, he plays John Skyscraper. So you do know some of the names of the characters, Jeff.
Is he Mark San Andreas in San Andreas?
Yeah, yes, he is. and
Thomas Paine and Gain. That's my favorite one.
Thomas Paine and Gain. Oh my god.
Douglas Jungle Cruise.
Douglas Jungle Cruise. What is he?
Johnny
A porn
Jumanji.
star? Jesus.
I think Douglas Jungle Cruise is going to be my new code name, like Rusty Shackelford.
Someone in the chat, Cosmic Vader said it's amputating time in reference to Jared Leto cutting his foot off.
Nah, his best character is Mr. Totally not on steroids at the age of 54 and looking the way he does.
It's a relatable character.
Leto's 54.
Him too.
Actually, I think he is like 54. He's like way older than you probably think he is.
Is he really a vampire? Is that why he looks so young?
I think maybe he is. Yeah, he's drinking the blood of the innocent.
I mean, that's the only way to explain why he keeps ended up in movie roles.
I don't like Jared Leto. Like, I don't know him as a person, so I can't speak to that. But find me a role that I like Jared Leto in, and I will be happy.
Paul Allen in American Psycho.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Well, where I started disliking Jared Leto was when he was. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Am I interrupting?
No.
Okay. So where I started really disliking him was after the whole Suicide Squad Joker thing. And then he was coming out and he was saying like, yeah, there were all these rumors about how like I sent people used condoms and like dead mice and whatever. And, just really got out of control. And I was like, you did that. You started those rumors. That was you, asshole. You were in interviews saying like, yeah, no, I just wanted everybody really uneasy around me. So I was like sending Will Smith used condoms. That came directly out of your mouth. Don't try to pretend like who knows how these rumors get started. You did it.
Didn't he say like he walked into the room and like put like a fucking dead animal on the table or something like that just to get everybody to wig out and be like, oh shit, he's going crazy.
Something like that. But yeah, it's like, oh, what are you doing?
I would have looked him in the face like, this is a fucking movie. Chill out.
Yeah.
Like I would have just laughed at him the whole time.
You're not really the Joker. Fictional characters. Am I making any sense here?
Also, your damage tattoo is stupid.
You're telling me you didn't love when he put his other hand to his face with the mask or the mouth on it? Went ha ha ha. I was like, what is this shit?
That was great. Yeah, there was a lot of decisions made in that movie that.
Good old Hot Topic Joker.
Yeah. But at least he had a really wonderful love story with Harley Quinn.
Oh my god, I saw so
out.
many fucking couples at Dragon Con dressed as them. I'm just like, you people are idiots.
You guys clearly don't understand the Joker Harley dynamic.
Well, they're almost as bad as like all the people dressed as, like all the couples that are like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. And it's just like, oh, stop.
Or better yet, this last Dragon Con, all the fucking Kens and Barbies. That was annoying.
I guess they didn't watch the movie. They just wanted to be trendy. Or maybe they're just unhappy in their relationships.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. A lot of girlfriends are bullying their boyfriends to put on pink and and call each other Ken and Barbie. So
Nick, next year let's go to Dragon Con and we'll do a thing called cosplay commentary, where we record all the cosplayers and then we do live reacts to it, kind of like some old WCW. Kendo, you're Shivani.
All right, I can do that.
Like I said, you're more than welcome to come down here and do that. That'd be hilarious. That would be fucking hilarious.
Folks, 2024 is our year. We will beat the algorithm. We will beat everybody. So we're ready to lay some smackdown. Because
you put them in front of us, and we'll beat them.
So.
Let me tell you, man, Dragon Con's getting weird over here, man. A lot, very quickly.
Like good weird, like a horror convention late night, or
no,
like weird,
no, like California weird, man, like California.
No, not Atlanta.
No,
when
I was
just escaped all that, and you're bringing it back up. You know he's got PTSD.
Yeah, I can't go back to that bullshit, Nick. I'm not coming to Dragon Con ever.
God
no,
damn,
I saw.
I would. In all honesty, if it was pre-COVID, I'd be like, yeah, dude, come on down. Now it's like, I don't think so.
I saw some shit go down at Dragon Con that I've never seen happen in California. So Dragon Con is still weirder.
Now I want to go just to see how weird it can be. I mean, I lived in LA. I saw some weird shit. So.
Oh well, yeah, you
literally
were in
on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in the Arkham Asylum of California. If you were in Los Angeles,
Arkham Asylum.
Like, you know how you're always surrounded by mountains in the valley. It's like once I got away, I felt like I broke out of prison, like Andy Dufresne at the end of the Shawshank Redemption when I'm at the sea or whatever. It's just like, I've returned to the Ohio River, and somehow I sound like fucking Morgan Freeman. But anyway, so many things have returned to me, like my sanity.
Yes, it called through 3 miles shit in California. No.
I lived through 3 years of shit in California.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
Honestly, it was the pee. The hobos pee everywhere. That's the part that really bothered me. It smelled like it.
The first thing I saw when I landed in California was a man in assless chaps peeing in another man's mouth in full view of a school bus full of children.
You kid,
oh my!
But I'm fairly certain that's probably happened.
Yeah, it probably has. It probably has.
No, I did come back from a trip to, I think it was, I'd gone up to Emerald City Comic Con, and I came back and flew into LAX, and in the cab leaving LAX, there was just a guy standing on the street in assless chaps, just waving like, "Hello, welcome to LA," and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much the most LA thing ever.
I'm back.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff, you know, dealer's choice. When you want to come down to Dragon Con for a day, you're welcome to it, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll be there next year, Nick. We'll film it for the channel.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll look for the weirdest shit at Dragon Con.
All right.
Dion, I'm going to need you to take the trip down with me so you can interview more weird people like the giant rat and all that other shit.
I love that idea.
Glad you do.
Oh my God.
Well, from what I recall about Dragon Con is that George Perez, he would go there several years. That was like one of the big shows he would go to. But a lot of people don't know about George Perez. Look, we love and respect George Perez, but he was very much into adult films, like producing them on the side. And he was, if I recall, he was pushing a lot of that stuff at Dragon Con.
Oh no, I know a couple of friends who use those hotel rooms very, very well to their full capacity.
When I went,
don't forget.
So when I went, I was we were standing out by the hotel pool, and it had like the glass walls kind of around it so that kids don't fall in. And they got the bar out there, so we're getting drinks and we're smoking cigars. It was me, James Silvani, another artist, and my friend at the time, Allie. And there's a girl who was wearing a costume that was only electrical tape, and she was just crawling around on all fours, like around us and over to the bar and behind the bar and around, just weaving around everybody on all fours. And we were like, "What's that about?" And then she went over to a guy who was in like a steampunk outfit with a top hat with goggles on it that was just sitting on the kind of the curb area where the pool was. She just crawled up to him and started rubbing up against him. And then leaned back so that so her back was against his chest, and he reached up and he smacked her really hard, just right on the vag, just it gave this loud crack, and then he did it again, And the best part was there was a dude that was just kind of like kind of like an introvert that was sitting by that guy when this girl crawled up, and he just had to look on his face like, what is happening, and should I leave? And if I leave, like, what is that? What does that do? Like, he was so nervous, and we just looked at each other and we were like, I mean, I kind of feel like it's time to go somewhere else. This is getting weird.
Nah, dude, that guy was just a huge fan of Prince and was just exercising some pussy control.
Yeah, like I said, that was pre-COVID for Dragon Con. Yeah, there were women with electrical tape late at night on like the Saturday night who would be all over the place, and it was a fun time. And they'd be like, "Hey, come back to this place. We're doing like over 18 stuff over here." It's like, okay, cool, that sounds fun. But
when he slapped that thing, when he slapped that thing, man, it sounded like Indiana Jones' whip.
Yes.
He was whipping something for sure.
Maybe we need to say.
But, Aaron, you want to tell about the Airbnb in New York last year? You want to tell the story about that?
Oh God.
Oh yes. Okay, so we had an Airbnb. It was like the second floor, or it was kind of like the third floor of this walk up, and a really cool place. But one night we come home and we go to open the door, and like this big dude like opens the door, and he's like, "What do you guys want?" And we're like, "Well, we're staying upstairs. We're staying here." And he was like, "Oh, you're not here for the party?" And we're like, "What party?" And apparently there was like a big sex party that was going on down on the first floor. And so there were all these hookers there, and he was like, "Yeah, girls are free, but guys are like $500." And we were like, "What the hell is going on?" And so then he was telling us a little bit. We ended up talking to him, and he was actually like, "You know what? If you guys want to go in, I'll just let you in. Don't worry about it. I'll just let you in." And I was like, "Nah, I kind of don't feel like I want to get involved in whatever this is."
I would go in to just at least like walk around for a bit and then leave. Be like, all right, let's see what goes down. Let's see how this goes.
It was really tempting because you have that thing where you're like, what exactly is this? And your curiosity is kind of like overwhelming. But I was like, all I can imagine is I walk in very innocently. I'm there a minute and a half, and then the Vice Squad comes in and busts everybody, and then I'm getting a mugshot, and all because I was just curious as to what happens at these things.
Dude, what happens is people dress up and slap more vaginas. It's just that kind of.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's going on. A whole lot of vagina slapping.
Oh God.
Nick, we should go for science.
like I said, man, I'm down. Let's do it. Like I'd be the one who would walk in because like it'd be one of those things where like I can't complete the story when I tell somebody, oh, I just stopped at the door. It's like I need to walk in and like experience it so I can then tell somebody about it next time.
I'm gonna see if I can out-weird these people.
I need a good goddamn story. Goddamn, that's what I need.
I have no shame. I'm just gonna walk in there and try to be the weirdest dude in the room. I'm gonna see how long it takes me to get kicked out of a weird people party.
Well, you're a lot of human, Jeff.
I believe in you, dude. I think you can do it.
I'll just scare everybody. Like, can you leave? People are afraid of you. Like, okay.
Just walk around going, "You want a peanut?"
I'll tell everyone I'm Andre the Giant's illegitimate son, and I will run with that story the whole night. We'll see how many people can get to believe me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And you go with some elaborate crazy backstory. It would be hilarious. Oh my God.
Well,
next week, Hulk Hogan will be telling somebody that he slammed you 30 feet in the air. Andre the Giant's son came up to me, brother.
I wonder if we could get that myth going. Like, he had an illegitimate son. I would be the right age, and then we could.
Can somebody help us make a Wikipedia page?
Let's do it.
Can somebody help us make a Wikipedia page for this? Oh my God.
Guys, make us a WCB. Like, help us make a Wikipedia page about me or the guys and all of us, the show, and just be like, Jeff is the illegitimate son of Andre the Giant. He was born in 1988, not in Grenoble, France, but in a hotel room in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, after a Saturday night's main event or some dumb shit like that.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious. That'd be funny.
We'll track it. I'll meet Andre's real daughter. She's like, "Are you really my half brother?" No.
Be like,
yeah, family.
That'd be great. Oh my God.
So, I want to hang out with you guys at cons too, because I want to get into these weird events. So, Aaron, Drew, we'll have to get together at one of these shows in the future.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about it, but like we try to always do like Dallas Fan Expo every year because there's a huge like YouTube presence there as well. So you know you
Okay.
get like the the game Geeks and Gamers crew, Nerdrotic, all those critical drinkers there sometimes. Like everybody comes down and just like kind of like networks and has a good time.
Is it too late for 2024?
No, not at all.
All right, let's do it next year. What
No,
part of the year is that in?
June. I'm looking at it right now. It happens in June.
All right, let's find out how we get our press passes or a table or whatever it takes. Let's go.
Oh, it's
Right.
easy to get press passes. All you gotta do is email them. You gotta send them a link to your channel, and Comics League got approved for press passes. I'm sure you guys will get approved too.
We are world class after all.
Yeah,
Dion,
man,
you ready to go to Texas again, buddy?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dion.
You know, Kendo will be pretty close to you, so maybe even you can make it down.
I should be able to because there is a Jollibee somewhere close to Dallas, so I could use that as bribes for why we have to go.
Perfect.
Like, hey, you keep always wanting to go to Jollibee. They have one in Dallas.
Well, dude, I'll see you in 2024 no matter what. So, guys, Aaron, Drew, Aurelio, let's talk again about Unholy Nightmare. Aaron, I wanted to ask you this because I ask every artist that appears on this channel, who's your favorite comic artist?
Oh man, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough to say. I've got to like, well, it's like I love everybody that I work with, so and that's why I work with them. So I absolutely love working with Aurelio. I also work with Renzo Rodriguez. We're doing a book called Kneel Before Doomface that we're going to launch next year, which I'm already considering kind of the spiritual companion piece to Wokebusters because it's got a lot of the same themes. The kind of conceit is what if breaking into becoming a superhero was like breaking into the modern day comic book industry. So that's half the story, and then the other half is a supervillain who's returned from the 80s. But the one that we're talking about right now, Unholy Nightmare, Aurelio did that. He's doing just the best work of his career. I'm sure that he's got a ton of influences he can tell you about. For me, guys that I really like I loved Mark Silvestri on the X-Men. That was probably one of my favorite eras of X-Men as well. I loved when Joe Mad came in and started doing like a more anime influenced version. I like different artists for different reasons. So, Jan Dursema, when she was doing the Star Wars stuff, I really liked her stuff. I had fallen in love with it when she was doing like advanced Dungeons and Dragons comics. And one of the things that really drew me to her was all of her characters looked different. They had different builds. The women looked different. You had some that were like, your bigger warrior women, and then you had some that were, your more shapely elves and things like that. So I really liked the variation. But just asking me who my favorite artists are, that's so tough because it'll depend on the day and like what I'm reading and what I'm excited about at the time.
Absolutely. Oh, that's fair. I just like to know that about people. Like for me, it's John Romita Sr. That's my dude. John Byrne. I like the old school guys. I think
classics.
The newest artist I like is Jim Lee, but he's been around for 35 years, so he's not really a new artist. But
and you mentioned Jim Lee. That is one of my favorites. But a character, an artist that I really following is Joe Quesada, especially his beginning. For example, Hash or Azrael or Guardian Devil, and another one is Ryan Otley, absolutely. Ryan Stegman. I think that is not just one. I try to study and take the best from as much as possible. I really love Todd McFarlane. I really love Greg Capullo. Then I don't know if if I am able to use that their reference, but every time I draw, I always have their books around my desk. This for sure.
You know who I think is a good old school artist, Jeff, that that doesn't get enough credit is Alex Saviuk, who did Web of Spider-Man for years.
Dude, he's my
Yeah,
favorite. That
I
guy is
love it.
awesome.
Yeah,
I
and
love
he's
it.
such a
I
cool
love it.
guy.
When
I
I
love
was
Alex Saviuk.
I do
Absolutely.
too.
I
I
love
worked with
Rom
Neil Adams
Friends.
once, and he came up to the
Rom
table,
Friends.
and he was so cool. Like, oh man, that was a because I recognized his face. I'm like, dude, Spider-Man, and he was the nicest guy.
Yeah, just an awesome dude.
I heard you mention Ron Friends. I love Ron Friends. He was always the spiritual
Yeah.
successor to Steve Ditko for me in
Mhm.
Spider-Man, and so I
I
like
love it.
quite a bit.
I love it. I have read his last work, The Blue Baron, that's coming here in Italy too. It's so fresh, so dynamic. I love it. I love Rom Friends. Yeah.
I want to
I
read more of his stuff because, admittedly, I only know him as the Spider-Man, that part of his career. But I mean, I like his work across the board. Because you said about being dynamic, there's a movement to his figures that not a lot of people can match. As much as I love some artists, they're very good at doing static figures, and that's it. Some guys can't do good motion. You know, not to always throw them under the bus, but I was reading this great book I bought. It's an Absolute Batman and Superman collection, and it has, I believe, when Jeff Loeb's son passed away, all of these artists came together to do like a tribute book, and the pages are cool. And then you get one Rob Liefeld page, and I was like, oh, man, like I know everyone digs on him, and it's kind of tiresome at points. But I looked at this panel or this page he did, and I'm like, what am I looking at? And I guess just 90s comics, man. You had to be at the right place at the right time because that's where I draw the line. Is I don't like 90s comic art. I love Mark Bagley and I love a lot of the guys that were doing stuff back then, but like that whatever you would call 90s style, it has not aged well for me. I kind of look back and cringe at it a little bit because I also don't know what the hell I'm looking at half the time.
Yeah, another guy who has really good energy is Walt Simonson. Like his characters all have like just a great amount. Like, you know, if somebody's running at you in a Walt Simonson panel, you feel it, man.
Yeah, he's up there as an all-time great for me. I definitely love his stuff. His wife was a writer on Superman, right? She wrote The Death of Superman, or at least some of that.
Yeah, and she did X Factor with him as well. Like he was doing the art and she was writing.
I follow them on Facebook, and it's really weird. Not weird, but it's kind of cool because they give you like a very normal look at their lives. So you kind of are like, oh, if I follow them on Facebook, I kind of know what it's like to hang out with the Simonson family. So,
yep. Yeah, they're very open, and every time that I've had the opportunity to like see them at a show, they're just like the sweetest couple. Like they're so nice and they're so appreciative of the fans, and that's just something that you don't get from a lot of the current crop of creators. Is just that mutual respect that, you know, you bought their work, you helped them live their dream, and they appreciate you for it. And that's one of the things that I always try to remember. You know, whenever I meet somebody and they say like, you know, oh, you know, like, hey, your Darkwing book, like I was reading it, I was going through a really rough time in my life, and it really helped me. That is so gratifying. You know, that's really, you know, so amazing. And I feel like anybody who's ever supported me, you know, I try to do what like try to treat them how the Simonsons have treated me when I've met them. Is I always try to make sure that they go away with a good interaction that they can be happy about.
I take the same approach from when I met George Perez, because he was so fun and like friendly when I met him, and I'm just like, I want to treat people like that, because he was cool. We met him in 2012 at the Cincinnati Comic Expo, and this was right around when New 52 was kind of like petering out, and he was very open about stuff, but he was also like the coolest dude. So, you know, George Perez is my go-to in terms of like interaction, because like I worked for Neil Adams, and he wasn't mean by any stretch, but he also wasn't like, I don't know. I'm glad I did it, and it was a really cool experience, but I don't know if I would have done it again given the opportunity. Like, it just was kind of like, okay, at the end of the day, he's just a dude that was there to like make as much money as possible. But
yeah,
that was it.
I saw him do some things that I was like, oh, he's going to get in trouble. Like, you know, some women would be walking by the table and he would just be like, the My Little Pony comics are that way, ladies. You know, or like, you know, or like telling women, you know, to smile. And I was like, you don't understand, Neil. You don't understand the time that you're living in. What are you doing? You're gonna get in trouble on Twitter. But I don't think he cared.
Oh no, that was the thing I loved about him, is he had no fucks to give. He was just like, I'm Neil Adams. I can do my own thing. Everyone's gonna come up to me, and that was cool. Like I said, Alex Saviuk came up to talk to him. Darwin Cook was still around back then, and he came over to talk to him. It was just cool to see like all the guys that I was like, man, this artist and that artist, and they're just coming up to pay tribute to Neil. He was like the Godfather. It was cool as shit. I'll put it like that. And his wife was nice, and they paid great. Like they paid you like $15 an hour to sell prints. So it was like, all right, I'll do that. Paid cash.
Yeah, 2012 money. That's good money.
Yeah. Can't complain. But I didn't get to meet Jim Lee at my most recent con. I was a little bummed out. So where's the inspiration, Drew, for this comic? Like, what made you want to do this one?
Oh man! So Unholy Nightmare. This goes back to March this year. Aurelio and I had just wrapped Born of Blood, and I was at that point working on 4 different scripts at that point, and so I was neck deep in writing. And Aurelio would frequently we became good Facebook friends. We bonded well over Born of Blood 5 and 6, and because we discovered we have a mutual love for horror films and splatter films, Italian horror, especially 80s obscure horror films like Society and Reanimator. And if you read Born of Blood 6, you see those elements in it. But he would frequently send me images of these characters, and he's like, "Hey, I have this character. I think he's great. I have this other character. He's great." I'm looking at them like, "Okay, that's great. I don't know what you want me to do with them, but that's great." And he said eventually, like, "Hey, we should do a comic with all these characters. They should be a team." And I'm thinking to myself, "Don't say yes. Don't say yes. Just kind of talk to them.
Play it cool. Play it cool. Don't seem too anxious."
Yeah.
But we're a family
And
now.
exactly. Yes, he's my brother. And the more we talked about the characters and talk about the backstories and talk about how they relate to one another, and their conflicts with one another and how the story would play out. Eventually, I just said, "We got a story here. I can't say no to this now." And so I just started working from that point on on the story for Born of Blood. I'm sorry, Unholy Nightmare. Sorry, and we knocked out issue 1 and a couple drafts. Aaron, brilliant editor, looked it over, and we eventually plotted. We have the first whole arc plotted out. Issues 1 through 6 are plotted out and done, and we already have a synopsis for the second arc after that. But this all really came from Aurelio. This story, and I'll let Aurelio talk. These characters started with him.
I basically started with, as Dolan say, with some sketches. I started sketches, especially the recluse characters, almost 3 years ago. But everything evolved when we start to talk with Dolan. I wanted also to make a superheroine on the way of the 90s Batgirl, like Lady Death or Witchblade. And I think about a werewolf woman. So then everything moving so fast that actually I have difficult to believe that we are started with the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast things go.
Now, speaking of the Kickstarter, why don't you tell the audience about some of the tiers? Because this is a great looking book, but there's a lot of options for people to check this book out.
Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of options, and like I said, Murphy Leduc, she she ran every single Kickstarter for Merc Publishing, not just Born of Blood, but all of them. And she reached out. I reached out to her. She agreed to run the campaign, and she made it look as beautiful as it is. But yeah, we have different artists we've worked with. Like we've got Andrew right there. You focused on. He's got the retail variant of that, the trade dress right there. That's been the big sell right now. Everyone loves that one. But it's also a wrap cover. So if you get his set, the Virgin cover is the wrap right there. Ooh. So I'm actually a zombie right back there on the back cover. I'm right back there is one of the undead guys. After that, we also have the Trinette, which is the unholy. This is the primeval variant. So this character shows up in issue 2, but so this is the only one that's going to have 3 covers. There's going to be a spot gold foil variant for this because we just say no to that.
Oh, that looks awesome right there.
Yeah.
What do we got? What about this one right here?
Yes, that one, Joe Ball. Phil Diaz, he's a good friend of mine, and he's actually right around in the Midwest area like us. But I reached out to him and I asked him, "Hey, do you have a good horror, artist, I could use for a cover?" He said, "You recommended this guy Joe Ball," and I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I got this a character called the Recluse. He's going to turn into a spider. Can you do something for that?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And he whipped this up in pencils in like a few days. I was like, "Holy shit, man! This is a cover in itself. This black and white, and the black and white variant, the vert cover for this." And I'm about to say I got that hanging up on my wall right now. I love it, and I really truly what we wanted to show in these covers is that these characters are going to show up, and these things are going to happen in this book as well. So what happens in the covers reflects inside the book. And after that,
what about this one?
So Jen Leonard, she did this one. Like I said, we're kids in the 80s and 90s, and this is kind of contribute to the Animorphs books, if you remember those back in the day. So yeah, she did this one, and she did this all by hand as well. She showed it on when we launched on Thursday night. She showed the pencils for this, and it's beautiful. And she really nailed the look of the She-Wolf Jen in this cover.
Well, this one's gnarly too. This is Aurelius.
Oh, yeah,
that is correct.
This is my fault.
This is such a great looking character. I told Drew and Aurelio the moment that I saw this character in all his glory, I was like, I would buy an action figure of that. And that's like the highest compliment that I can give is, give me that guy with all his creepy legs and just what a cool design the Recluse is. And I was a little bit jealous because I actually had a character that was that used the name Recluse that I wanted to do, and I was like, "Oh, Drew beat me to it. Now I got to be more creative." They Aurelio and Drew got it. But the script. If any of you in the chat have read Born of Blood by Merc, Drew did a really good, solid job on that. It's a really great story. But this, I think Born of Blood was Drew leveling up as a writer, and this, there's so much passion poured into this by both him and Aurelio. I just, even as a comic book fan, even though I'm working, and doing some editorial on it, I cannot wait to see it completed. So I've really got my fingers crossed that you guys all come out and help us cross the finish line. But Drew, there's a couple of perks if people if people back it this week, right?
Oh yes, that is correct. We are announcing it right now. This isn't live on the Kickstarter page yet, but everyone watching right now on World Class Bullshitters, you're getting the jump on this right now. So starting tonight, up through the end of week 1, Leo and I are putting 2 pieces of real art. If you back the campaign tonight through the end of week 1, you're going to have an opportunity to these 2 pieces of art right there. You have the chance to win this bust of the Recluse from Aurelio. He just did today, and that's going to be that's first piece. Actually, I will sign anything for Born of Blood. Be the thing we've done. And this is a page from the very, very first comic I ever wrote that was published. My friend Kenna did the art. And so I was like, you know what? I've been sitting on these pages now for like 7 years. So I'm like, I feel I should share this. So anyone who backs this anyone who backs the campaign starting tonight through the end of week 1, you're going to have an opportunity to win of art, because we're going to raffle at the end of the week, and we can track all the backers, starting from the beginning to the end of, and we'll just put them all through randomizer, and we'll see who comes away with these 2 pieces of art.
I hope I'm going to back it, and I hope to win this so I can gift this to Dion for Christmas because he loves horses. So
they're his favorite.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect for old Dion Green. No, but this is awesome. Like, I remember, Drew, when you showed me some of the, you showed me these pages, you showed me the design. I thought your character is excellent. I love Recluse. That is a cool looking design, man.
Thank you.
Like, a lot
so
of superheroes seem very derivative, but this is its own thing. Like, I'm really into it. I love, really, I'm a big fan of your style. I like your inks quite a bit. I mean, I like all of it, but I'm just saying, like, I really dig the that style. When you talked about the artists that you keep books by your table, you can definitely see some of the influences, but that's a good thing, man. Like, this is good looking stuff.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's the cool thing about indie comics today. Like, folks, when we're here to bring you these books, independent doesn't mean lower quality. It means not branded by Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, Dark Horse, or, these other big names. It's just these books created by people where the talent's there, the artistic ability's there. And realistically, like you had said earlier, Aaron, this is the great American art form. We want to keep this stuff alive. And comic books are incredibly important. I mean, think of all the stuff that came from comic books that we talk about to this day. I mean, even if we bring and include the comic strip, Dick Tracy, you have all these other great characters that have been around. I mean, the comic strip was a dominant force for decades. I mean, it's something we don't talk about anymore, but this art form goes back hundreds of years, 100 plus years at this point. And whenever Famous Funny's #1 was.
Yeah, and I think that it's not going away. The mainstream, as we know it, may go away if they don't figure out how to course correct and bring customers back and attract new customers. That may go away, but I don't think that the medium of comic books will ever go away. I think that there'll always be, especially with the technology that we have now, the way that we can reach out, the way that we can market directly to the consumer through, YouTube, through all of the social media that we have. I think that there is a chance for there to be a new thriving market. And I think that there's more of a sense of community amongst the independent creators. Now, granted, there's still some dust-ups that happen time to time from creators, egos get in the way. But, there is a large group of us out there that we try to be helpful, we try to be welcoming. And, when you help us back these books, you help us keep our dream going. And then what we like to do is we like to try to give something back. So I know Drew is very accessible. I'm very accessible. If you guys are trying to work on books of your own and you need advice, we will always try to help you guys out too. So I think that what we want to do here is we want to basically build a life raft from the mainstream industry where, people try to gatekeep you based on politics or, whatever their little grievances are. They're going to try to keep you out. You're never going to work on Spider-Man because I control Spider-Man and I don't like you. Well, you know what? Screw you. I don't need to work on Spider-Man. I can go do, Aurelio and and Drew can go do the Recluse, and they can build their own universe and they can build their own, just build their own life raft to get out of the mainstream industry.
I love that. And, I really love to have creators on that have that mentality because I believe there's enough for everybody out there. There's no need to try to keep people out or keep people down. No, it's the best medium out there because nobody just buys one comic book. This isn't like you're selling a car and a person's only going to buy that car for the next 5 years. No, it's a comic book. You ever walk into a comic book store and just buy one book? I have walked out buying 0 books more than I bought just one book because, Spider-Man's out. Batman looks pretty cool. Ooh, a horror book. This, that. Like Nick and I, when we went down to Florida, we each took out a stack of comics, not just one. So I'm all about the community that goes with this stuff because technology is the great equalizer. Filmmaking, comic books, and music, all the art forms have been, brought to a level that anybody with the right talent can do it because it doesn't take, comic books you could always get in because all you needed was a pen, a paper, an idea, and some decent artwork. But now with iPads and computers, you can do wonderful colors. You can do all the same effects that Marvel does. You can use the same lettering. You can top a Marvel book. These books, that's what's exciting about this. I love the ability that, I love the things that we have the ability to do with what we have. So I think this is the golden age of the independent book. I understand we're not Image level, but nothing even sells at that level, even on the mainstream. But the stories that come from these independent successes are, things to be proud of.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
and
absolutely
honestly,
fan. Go ahead, Drew.
Oh, sorry. I just would say we would not have done this if we didn't feel confident in it, and if like gentlemen like you, Jeff, guys like Joe Corallo, Josh McDonald, like these guys who are in the industry who I know I can trust if they tell me if it's good, if it sucks, or whatever. And when Aaron, you guys, you see, like, you get excited, you guys like what I see. It's like, okay, we're onto something here. I trust your guys' opinion. So, I mean, because of that, we're doing this, and I really truly hope more people show up for this, because what we got here, we're building, is truly going to be special. And Aaron, speaking of which, I need to send you the plot synopsis for the rest of the issues for the rest of the series, so you can see where we're going with this. But
yeah, I definitely need to see the overview.
Oh yeah, and it's going to blow your mind. And it really, what we have planned, it's when we think we've gone far enough. I know I keep reminding myself, think bigger. We got to keep thinking bigger, because this title is Unholy Nightmare. This has to be horrific and crazy and wild. So what the story we want to tell, there is no pulling punches. There's no holding back. No one's eating. It's going to be amazing.
No one eats your comic book? That's disappointing.
I know. I understand.
We are just hoping to have the possibility to we need the trust to finish book 1.
Yes, that's the first goal, finishing book 1.
Yeah, because we have so much things to do, so much things to learn, to show to people, lots of characters, lots of stuff. Now I don't want to spoil. I don't want to make spoiler, but we have so much stuff to show.
Yeah, it's going to be 26 pages. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and the plan is, if when we meet our goal and exceed it, when we tell the subsequent issues, they're going to be about 10 pages longer in length. 10 to 12 pages. So what we're going to plan on doing is telling like 10 to 12 page, like kind of origin stories or like backstories that were critical in the past of those characters. And so we may be bringing on someone like someone who's on the panel now to help me co-write one of those characters. And it's going to be a lot of fun, because this world we're building is going to be, I get so excited thinking about it, because it's more excited than anything right now you're getting from Marvel or DC or Image. Trust me, your minds are going to be blown away.
Yeah, these aren't guys that are just biding their time, and we're asked because of surface identity traits to write a character that they have no interest in and no knowledge of. This is creators passionately creating things that they are excited about and that they want to share with you. So, if you guys, hey, there's a $5 option. I know things are tight right now for everybody. The economy is in really bad shape. So if you're like, I want to help, but I can't necessarily jump in right now, there's a $5 option, and you'll get a PDF of the book that you can read, on your tablet. And also, even if that's even, a little bit rough for you guys, just helping us spread the word, putting it out on your social media, talking about it to friends of yours is monumentally helpful, and we just appreciate it so much.
I'll be tweeting out about this, guys. Follow WCBS to hear more about Undead Nightmare, Unholy Nightmare. I'm thinking of Red Dead Redemption, the DLC. Unholy Nightmare. Excuse me. But is there anything else you guys want to say about the project? Because how many days are left in the campaign? First off,
we just started a couple days. We got 27 days left.
Yeah.
Now, folks, I just dropped the link in the chat again. So you have 27 days left. Let me show some of this art real quick, because this is awesome. It's got great kinetic energy. It's got a lot of action. I love this shot. When you sent me this in black and white, Drew, the other day, I was like, wow, that is a really striking page. So I'm excited to see it in color and fully lettered.
Yeah, there it is, fully lettered. That's the opening page right there. And so issue 1, this takes place in Gary, Indiana. Now, if you're not familiar with Gary, Indiana, and you're watching this right now, it's effectively a ghost town. It's terrifying when you middle of the day, at night, in the morning, whenever. If you're driving through there, there's no one there. It is like Salem's Lot. It's like, what is going on here? It's like the town that time forgot. And I was thinking to myself, if you're going to do like a drug deal, this is the place to do it. There's no cops. There's no one here. This is the perfect place.
And then Drew decided maybe I'll make comics instead of doing the drug deal. I'll make a comic about a drug deal.
Wise decision, man. Not illegal. All you'll do is benefit from your work.
Yeah, slightly more risky, I think. Trying to get my money back. We'll see what happens.
So, any final words on this project? Like I said, this won't be the only time the audience hears from you, but anything else you'd like to say tonight before we get going?
Please do check it out. If I haven't sold you on this, if Aurelio hasn't, if Jeff hasn't, if Aaron hasn't, please do reach out to us. You can reach out in the community. You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. You can ask me about the project. Ask me why I should back it. I'll gladly explain to you why you should. Please tell me. I'm sorry. Just please tell me what we can do to sell you on this book. I will sell you in it in a minute.
I like that. Aaron, Aurelio, anything else you guys want to say about the project before we check in with our audience and talk about some fun stuff with the super chats?
Well,
go ahead, Aurelio, because I'll close it out.
Yeah. Basically, Dolan say everything. I can just adding that we will show something totally new. For example, the Trinacria characters is a character of my city folklore. It's a Sicilian symbol. I am from Palermo, Sicily, and the Trinacria is an important symbol here. And I wanted to use her as a character because I think she having so much potential. Now, as I say before, I don't want to spoil, but we have so much surprise, and on this story arc, we really surprise you. We just need the trust to make book one.
And I think once you guys see book one, I think you're going to be invested in the rest of the story. If any of you are familiar with me at all, with any work that I've done, or any of the appearances that I've made, like on the Thinking Critical channel or Clownfish TV, or Max's Man Cave, Pop by Culture, or my social media, I think that if there's one thing that you can say about me is that you guys know that I'm not a shill. Obviously, I've worked on, I've been up here bashing Disney all night, and I've worked on Disney properties, and I love a lot of the Disney properties, but I still am willing to, maintain my integrity and not kiss the mouse's ass. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about any project that you ask me about. So when I recommend this book, even though, I'm the editor on it, but when I recommend it, at least that I am passionate about it, that I believe in it, and that I think that you'll enjoy it when I say that you will. So, if that matters for anything, please check us out. We'd love your support.
Yeah,
folks, that link is in the description it's in the chat right now. I'll put it in the description a little later on, and make sure you guys follow all their channels as well as WCBS to hear more about Unholy Nightmare. So, guys, let's do the fun part of the show tonight and check in with the audience. Now, before we do, somebody had asked what I thought of Ahsoka. I didn't like it. It was kind of boring. If you'd like to see the full review, we did a live react to the finale of Ahsoka Season 1. Hopefully, there's no Season 2 that we have to be subjected to. Shrubble, as always, says, I'll take a horse button for Dion and a Joe Rogan high as fuck. Well, guys, be prepared for some weird stuff that you've never seen before.
Who are you? What are you doing here, and where are my horses?
What the hell?
What the fuck is that?
That was terrifying.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, while that was going on, I backed the comic book because I'm cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, Kendo, if you win the original art, you got to send it to Dion.
Well, duh.
Now, folks, here's the other button that Troubles Await requested.
Imagine if you gave a white supremacist 5 MEO DMT, and then as the first one, as they're exhaling,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what a rush!
Oh, that Joe Rogan. I tell you, man. Modalicious says, context is everything. It's funnier when you hear the word fanny. It means vag in the UK.
I had no idea.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
We thought we were talking about fanny packs.
Mm.
So we tell Susan.
Fuck Susan.
Susan or Kathleen Kennedy? Who would you rather?
I haven't seen Susan, so I couldn't really answer that question, objectively.
I'm going to see what she looks like to answer my own question. Susan. Oh, she's no longer the CEO of YouTube.
Oh.
I'll take her because her net worth is $765 million.
Sold. I love you, Susan.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Whew. I've never seen a better looking woman. Anyway.
So handsome. Very handsome.
Yeah. Our pal Xavier to God, thank you very much. He says, fuck, marry, kill video games, movies, shows, and books. Okay. I'm going to marry movies and shows. I'm going to fuck books, and I guess I'll kill video games, because even though I love video games, books include comics, and, comics are my thing.
Yeah, I'm there with you. As much as I love video games, I will take books and TVs/movies over video games.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
Aaron, Drew, Aurelio, any comments?
Yeah, I agree. I'd kill video games. I'd marry books.
Oh man, this is tough. This is tough, but I'm gonna probably eliminate video games just because I don't have the time for them anymore to play them as much as I want. And it seems like whenever I buy a new game, I play it a little bit, and then I eventually just go back to Red Dead Redemption and ride up Red Dead 2 and ride up into the hills and just hunt hillbillies.
I am basically forced myself to not play video game because I am able to don't do anything else. I remember when my wife was pregnant of our son, that I was I was so and I focused so much over her, help her to dress, help her to clean, always stay near her. So she gave me for a Christmas Splatterhouse video game, and I started to playing that day, and after 4 hours, my wife comes and say, "But you have forget about everything. It's almost an hour that I call you." And it was 4 hours that I play Splatterhouse. Then I have discovered maybe it's better pay attention to play video game. It's happened again this year because my son received the PlayStation 5, and I am playing Doom Eternal. And I that day I have done anything else. So actually, I'm a family man. I have some responsibility, so I think it's better I stay away from video games. So I prefer comic book.
Guys, I'll let you guys wrap up. I've actually got to run. This has been an absolute blast. Thanks so much for having me on. Thanks so much for having all of us on, and thanks to everybody in the chat. And thank you to everybody who's supporting us with this book. I'll let you guys continue, but yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, bullshitters. It was absolutely, a dream. All right, man. Later.
Talk to you later, Aaron.
Thank you so much.
Our friend Modalicious says, I'm hearing women don't belong in the workforce. What are you talking about? Kathleen Kennedy? Is that what we're talking about? I missed that one.
No, we never said they don't belong. We just said she in particular is doing a shit job. That's it. That's all we were talking about.
Nick, this is a fuck, marry, kill. It'll probably be directed at you for the most. Fuck, marry, kill. The next episode, still Dre and forgot about Dre.
Why is it directed at me?
You listen to more rap than anyone on the channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Dion loves country. Yeah.
I mean, it's the music of the horse people, so of course Dion loves it.
Music of the horse people. Oh my god. Let's see. I will marry next episode. I will forgot about Dre, and I'll kill still Dre.
I will marry forgot about Dre. This is hard because I don't really love the next episode like everybody else does, but I also don't dislike it. I think I'll kill the next episode and fuck still Dre. I mean, we're getting either Snoop Dogg or Eminem with Dr. Dre, so we're all winning here. Xavier DeGott says you guys should do a drunk stream to drive through. Is that a movie, or like do you want us to go to an actual drive through and get shit faced?
I mean,
I do
it's doable. So
let's get fucked up at a Whataburger.
Ooh, that's my jam.
What do you get there?
Typically,
No, there's
number one, but occasionally I'll go for a patty melt.
There's a movie called Drive Through that came out in 2007. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Does it look good?
No.
We'll
high
do
school
a drug
student
for Patreon.
Oh god, a high school student must save townspeople from a murderous clown who works at a fast food joint.
I'm suddenly interested in this movie.
Morgan Spurlock's in it.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
I'll still watch it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
TLJ Screwjob, thank you very much. He says, I left a comment on your Marvel video today about how even too much of a good thing equals bad thing. And Disney hastened that by putting out shit. What is the panel's thoughts on that? Well,
He's not wrong.
yeah, I agree. Too much of a... Well, I haven't had too much of a good thing from Marvel because there is a limit to what was good. So when it comes to like movies, I'm there. If I'm enjoying myself, I will keep going back or I'll keep watching it. Like Lethal Weapon never had a bad movie. Now, I also live by the adage, like, know when to quit, or the trick is to quit while you're ahead, according to James Bond. But, you know, I don't think they've ever put, like, I can't name a property that's put out so much good stuff that I got burnt out. Like, even John Wick, 4 great movies. I was on board.
Oh yeah, dude, they're wonderful. I think that's the only franchise during these last, I don't know, 10 years that's been worth a damn that we've actually consistently wanted to watch. Well, Mission Impossible as well, maybe.
Yeah. And it bothers me that one flopped. Like, I really like Mission Impossible 8.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. It's really fun.
But I think Disney, by hastening their releases and rushing to put out all these extra Marvel films, the quality dropped, especially with the special effects. And this is a visual medium. And when you have a superhero movie, you expect mind-popping visual or mind-blowing visuals like you would expect in a comic book. So I expect a lot more out of Marvel movies. And I've just been disappointed. I think the quality's dropped.
Yep.
Xavier DeGod says, rate these stand-up comedians from least to greatest. All right, cool. Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Eddie Murphy, and Dave Chappelle.
Well, Murphy's the greatest. Then comes Chappelle. Then comes Chris Rock. Then comes Kevin Hart.
Boom. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yep, I hate to be that guy that just goes, yeah, I agree, but I mean, Eddie Murphy Raw is my favorite stand-up of all time, so
yeah, and that's my favorite, and my second favorite is Delirious.
Yeah, and I don't think Kevin Hart does need stand-up anymore. He's just kind of quit. It seems like.
Sportsbook has now entered Ohio. It's like that's all I see. Sorry, DraftKings has now entered Ohio. That's all I get are ads for DraftKings with Kevin Hart. Mr.
And Ryan
Commercial
Fitzpatrick.
Man. Jeez. Our good pal Enrique Vasquez says the Kennedys should have lobotomized Kathleen instead of their actual daughter. A falling stormtrooper, please. Edited for spelling. Ooh, I didn't know any of that stuff went down. Did you?
Yeah, the Kennedy family, they lobotomized, I think it was Rose Kennedy, one of their daughters.
Oof.
Do you know the reason why by chance?
She was different.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough.
And back then, that's the solution was, send them in to have somebody shove a hook up their nose and cut out part of their brain. Because, back then it was voodoo and stupidity.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's dark. Here is your button request.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video up.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
That guy's fallen. He's eating shit more than anybody else on this channel.
I don't know. I think the motorcycle guy's gotten it the most.
Yeah, I was about
Can
to
you
say
eat shit when you're dead, though?
If you're in the process of dying, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a brief moment where he is eating shit as he's being launched at high speeds through the fucking air. I mean, if you want to, you can roll the tape and we can make our judgment ourselves. Actually, there you go. Roll the tape and let the two guests decide whether or not that guy ate shit.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video up.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
Man, one of them was so offended he quit.
Yeah. There he goes. I'm going to speak for them. He didn't make it. I'm not your coach. He survived. Escape from Barbie Land says, despite there being a new line of Bratz dolls in Kylie Jenner's likeness, there's a funny twist to it. Khloe Kardashian's Bratz doll has been accused of blackfishing. BS meaning even funnier. What is blackfishing?
What the fuck is a
I think it's
Bratz
black
doll?
facing. I think it's black facing is what they was trying to
Oh, okay. I have never owned a Bratz doll. I thought they stopped making Bratz dolls, to be perfectly honest.
Didn't it stop up to like the late 90s or something? I don't know.
No, they were a product of the 2000s.
Oh,
'Cause I had
okay.
a cousin that was playing with them, and she's closer to my age. But I just remember a lot of collectors are into the car that they have, like a Cadillac or something, because people put Marvel Legends in this Cadillac car from Bratz dolls.
Oh my god. Yeah, whatever.
But I didn't realize the Kardashians had dolls. I'm not really a
I mean, they're mostly plastic anyway, so it makes sense.
yeah.
That's
there you go.
fair.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Escape from Barbie Land. Thank you very much for a very generous super chat. We appreciate you, man. TLJ Screwjob says, we're in Psychoville and Kathleen Kennedy's the mayor. Ace Ventura.
Oh god.
So Georgian says, Couch Kendo, did Woodrow Wilson's election win in 1912? Was fair via the Electoral College, or was it not due to him getting 42% of the popular vote?
I'm not sure what he's asking. Is it?
Let me reread it because I messed up. Couch Kendo. Did Woodrow Wilson's election win in 1912? Was that a fair vote via Electoral College, or was that not due? Or was it not due to him getting only 42% of the popular vote?
Well, I mean, it was fair because the Electoral College is what decides who wins, because that's how the votes are allocated. Popular vote, more of just a statistical number these days, and has been because of the Electoral College. But, I mean, in 1912, the main reason why Woodrow Wilson won is because Theodore Roosevelt was pissed at Taft, and instead of just sitting by after he left office and let Taft go, was mad that Taft wasn't doing what he wanted him to do. So he fucking ran on his own platform and split the Republican vote, which ended up allowing Wilson to win with 42% of the popular vote and essentially fluke his way into being the president. If Roosevelt doesn't run, Taft gets reelected. If Taft chooses not to run and Roosevelt runs, Roosevelt wins. The whole Woodrow Wilson debacle gets completely fucking avoided. But Roosevelt, say what you want about him, cool dude, but a bit of an egomaniac, and he fucking split the ticket, and that's how we got Woodrow Wilson and a lot of the ills of the 20th and now 21st century. Fucking clown.
Kenda, we're gonna have a lot of fun in 2024 talking about past presidential politics. I could just feel it.
Yeah, there's a lot of clown talk involved. We keep electing them.
Let's see. Unholy Nightmare has a $5,000 goal. Jeff, you need to push that button. Oh, you mean this one?
Right, man. Jerk somebody else off. This is bullshit. I need $5,000, not $2,000 thing, man. Don't do this to me.
Look, don't be unreasonable. You're not dealing with Johnny Bananas. Come on. Yeah.
No, I know I ain't dealing with Johnny Bananas, but can I have my money? Look, can I say it slow for you? Look, I need $5,000. Read my lips. $5,000 is what I need.
Love it.
Kendo, 2024 is also going to see you featured on your first T-shirt.
Oh,
we keep getting messages over on Twitter. Somebody wants me to do a cover of you punching out Woodrow Wilson like Captain America punches out Hitler in the first issue of Captain America comics.
Okay.
So I will make that a shirt for next year, and I will draw the bullshitters as the people running around in the background. So
I'll gladly wear it. I am not opposed to wearing my own face on a shirt.
Nor am I, even though it feels kind of weird.
It does feel a little weird, like wearing our own merch. Like it's cool and all, like when we're at conventions, because it's like, yeah, this is who we are. But like with the huge banner behind it, and we're sitting there at the table, it's like, yeah, that's me on that banner. It's whatever.
I just have more fun wearing the suit. Hashtag Suit Saturdays.
That's true.
When we go to Texas, Suit Saturday is in full effect, boys.
Oh, I will be there in a suit with boots and a hat.
Hell yeah, you will. Cowboy Kendo.
Oh my god! You need a gun on your hip as well too, and a fucking belt and everything.
I mean, it's Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that here. New Mexico, outside of Albuquerque's got some relatively.
I was about to say, didn't the governor just get like really uppity about weapons? And
she
shit
decided that it was a public health emergency that gangbangers were shooting each other in Albuquerque, and decided that she was going to ad hoc take away the gun carrying rights of legal citizens, which seemed odd. Because then she also said that she didn't think it was going to stop the gun crime. It's like, then why are you doing it? Which I've got my own conspiracy theories, as they would like to call them, on why that was tried and why she went ahead and did it. But the fucking Bernalillo County Sheriff's like, I'm not enforcing that. He goes, that's unconstitutional. I'm not going to enforce her rule and deprive citizens of their legal rights that are not causing any problems. This is clearly a crime issue, not a gun issue. And I'm not enforcing it. And yeah, our governor's not exactly she's tiny too. She's like super short, kind of looks like an Oompa Loompa.
Could Mark Ruffalo take her in a fight?
No, I think she seems like she would fight dirty.
Oh, she's a scrappy little chick. Got it.
Yeah. Like when she was running in the election last year to keep her governorness, she was running against a guy named Mark Ronchetti, and he used to be a TV weatherman. And her entire campaign was, he used to be a weatherman. Also, he hates abortion. That was pretty much her entire campaign. It was, he won't let you get an abortion, and he used to be a weatherman. It's like, okay, so you're running on one issue and insulting the other guy. Okay.
I would have been like, even with the weather, I was more accurate than you have been in your campaign. Like, I would have ripped her apart that way.
Yeah. The debate between the two of them was fucking great, because all he had to do was stick to his points, and he probably could have trounced her, because she had no platform to run on other than, I keep giving out free money to the residents of New Mexico, saying it's a tax rebate, but then I take it away from your income tax the next year, so you're paying it back. So I'm pretending to give you money, but I'm really not. And instead, he ran his whole debate on, here's me on the issues. Oh, by the way, the governor grabbed some dude by the crotch one time and asked him if he had anything down there. That guy used to be gay too. But it's like, she's got the correct letter next to her name to do those types of things. So it would get
She has the D. She has
Yeah.
the D.
Yeah. So it's like she can get away with doing that because, that's how it works in our politics.
Hey, whatever happened to that lady that was given handies at Beetlejuice on stage? Like, is she still
She's still
fired?
No, she's still a rep for Colorado, which you would think that considering she barely won her reelection bid, like razor thin fucking margin, that she would handle public life with a little bit more decorum. So she chose not to. She chose violence, not literally though, but she was manhandling that dude's hog.
I was about to say she's trying to handle something else. So yeah.
Yeah, she was like
poorly.
Well, the best part is they were like she was vaping. It's like it's Colorado. Like the entire state has a fucking weed cloud hanging over the top of it.
Yep. Just be careful when you get into the Denver airport. Things get weird.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
Same. That fucking horse statue that killed a guy.
Oh God. Oh man.
But yeah.
All right. So it seems like we've reached the end of the episode. So folks, thank you for watching. Go to stealingsolo.com right now to get yourself a copy of the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs. It answers the greatest what if question of all time. What if a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans kidnap Harrison Ford and force him to remake Star Wars in their basement? I'd like to thank a decent amount of people backed it on air tonight. So folks, thank you for backing it. I know a lot of you have a copy, but grab one. Get ready for the holidays. We're going to be running a little special on the old Fandom Menace edition as well.
I did my part.
Yeah, you kidnapped Harrison Ford for me. Thank you.
Him too.
Yeah. So folks, make sure you check out Unholy Nightmare over on Kickstarter. Help them get to their goal of $5,000. Read my lips, $5,000. It's a good comic book. And be prepared for next year with Woke Busters and a whole lot more. So from all of us here at WCBS, thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
.com.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
My name is Jeff.